After a 10-5 victory over the Spearfish Sasquatch yesterday, the Sunfish return home to Karras Park once more for a game against their most, well, I wouldn't say hated, but their biggest foe, the Pierre Trappers. We have a standoff for the national anthem between Tanner Wilson and a few Trappers, and along with me for the ride tonight, that's right, we did it in Pierre, we're doing it here. It's me and my good buddy Tyler Katz. Tyler, how you doing tonight, buddy?
David, I'm good. I'm glad we get to do it here in Sioux Falls. Thank you for returning the favor after we invited you over to the home side of the broadcast booth at Heights Stadium. I'm glad to be here in Karras Park.
Oh, we have one guy who's already walking off of the Trappers side. Can you tell me who that is?
That's Nick McCullum, who was yesterday's starting pitcher. Also on the line, Mason Torvey, Mason Wells, and Nicholas Strong. So a couple of Masons for the Trappers.
We have Tanner Wilson for the Sunfish, who's getting taken care of by Gannon Thompson. He has his cowboy hat over his heart. He was given a helmet. He's got a towel around the neck, and he just got some water and now a shin guard for Tanner Wilson. Looking at today's starting lineups for the two teams for the Trappers, it'll be Caden Cardoso leading off, playing right field. Patrick Connor will be batting second. Eric Mast third, and Colin Adams, the designated hitter, will be batting cleanup, followed by Ty Stoss, Joey Bramonti, the new man, Andrew Kim. We'll find out more about him in just a bit. Braden Cordes will be batting eighth, and Thomas McKenna, the catcher, will be batting ninth. Home plate umpire Anthony Atkinson and field umpire George Tyree return. Anthony Atkinson has told the people to vacate the lines. No one's budging. There's one from the Trappers. Tanner Wilson standing strong. It'll be Griffin Hassel on the bump for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. Griffin has been fairly solid in his past few starts for Sioux Falls. In his 4 starts, 20 and a third innings, and Tanner Wilson is victorious for the first time this season. The Sunfish win the standoff. Tanner Wilson putting his cowboy hat to the sky in victory, and that looks like it's going to be a good sign for the Sunfish, Tyler.
I just want to point out the last time we did this, we had a national anthem standoff. The Pierre Trappers won it. That turned out in favor of Sioux Falls. Could history repeat itself?
That the Sunfish will win tonight? I hope so.
No,
here's the first pitch from Griffin Hassel. A fastball that misses away. First pitch, 6:39 tonight from Karras Park. It's a beautiful night here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hassel quick with his approach. Throws another fastball in the outside corner. Or was the first pitch called a ball? It says it up on the scoreboard. I thought that was called a strike. It was called a strike, we're being told by our cameraman, Zach Campbell. Another heater misses high to Caden Cardoso. 86 and mostly sunny here from Sioux Falls. It's a lot cooler than it usually is in Pierre, right, Ty?
Yeah, I haven't checked the weather in Pierre in quite a while. We've been gone for 4 days, but have had quite a few heaters and scorchers in the South Dakota state capital.
And from what I've been told, the Sunfish are going back to the state capital for the weekend for the 4th of July series against the Trappers, and from what I've been told, it's supposed to be about 104 tomorrow. We'll see what that is. Fastball is fouled to the backstop, and Griffin Hassel, 0-1 on the season. His last appearance came on the June 25th in the loss to the Hastings Sodbusters. He went 7 innings of allowing just 2 runs. He came off the mound with the lead, and when he was taken off, Asante Wilson allowed 5 runs, and it ended up being a 7-3 loss. Pitch misses away. It's now a full count. We're having some next-level Mission Impossible stuff to our right, trying to fix the radar gun with General Manager Nick Moen. Here's the payoff. Got him at the knees looking, and Caden Cardoso goes down after bringing it back to a full count. Strikeout number 1 for Hassel.
That was one of the most elaborate strike 3 calls I've ever seen from a home plate umpire.
See, and you haven't had Anthony Atkinson this season. He's got a nice punch-out. Field umpire George Tyree has a good punch-out as well on the strikeouts looking. It's Patrick Connor who takes the first pitch over the head of JT Mixon to right field for a base hit.
And for Patrick Connor, that's a big base hit for him that will extend his hitting streak now to 9 consecutive games.
9 consecutive games. He made his debut back on the 17th against the Sunfish, but that was out in Pierre. This is actually his first time coming to Karras Park. Just his, actually second time. Now there he is right there, June 24th. Didn't see it, almost lost it. But he's on with a base hit, and that brings up lefty Eric Mast. And the Sunfish just got done seeing a lefty-heavy lineup against the Spearfish Sasquatch. Griffin Hassel did not pitch in that series. It's Adonis Forte out in left, Kenneth Dutka in center, Declan Beers in right, with Dane Frazier and Norris McClure on the left side of the infield. JT Mix at his home spot of second with Dylan Cricket Danielson on first. Carter Tibbetts calling the signs behind the plate. 87-mile-an-hour fastball misses high. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Mast.
And for the Trappers, aggressive base running, especially with Patrick Connor, who's at first base right now, has 9 stolen base attempts, being successful 6 of those 9.
There he goes off on the pitch. This time a foul ball high out of play that goes into the Augustana parking lot. It's starting to roll back towards us, so I don't think it hit a car. I made sure to park as far away as possible every time. The first game here at Karras Park, I didn't realize how far the ball travels when it's a foul ball hit, and actually our intern Kelly, she actually got her car hit by a foul ball in that first game.
Ooh, we have not had that happen yet, but I can imagine.
2 balls, 1 strike to Mast. A pickoff attempt by Hassel, no good at first. So we were talking before the game, Ty, and this is the first time in quite a bit that the Sunfish and the Trappers have seen each other. It's been, 2 series in between?
Yeah, and for this series against the Trappers and the Sunfish, as a pitch taken outside for a ball, I think the most that we've been apart is 1 series. So to have 2 series of separation, it's been a long time since the Trappers and the Sunfish have gotten to see each other.
It's been all the way back to that first half of the season, and that's kind of like the New Year's joke. It's like, we'll see you next year. Well, last time they played was in the first half of the season, which, the second half officially started yesterday. There was a bit of confusion as to if yesterday was the final day of the first half or the first day of the second half, as Connor was taking off, but Mast swings off another one. It's a full count.
And that's the second straight hit and run called that has been a foul ball by Eric Mast. Connor has taken off for second base twice, swinging by Mast, both of them foul balls.
And it's never fun. You're about halfway or 3/4 of the way to second base, and then you have to walk all the way back. Used all that energy. Obviously, I'm a bigger guy, so I use a bit more energy, so I think I complain a little bit more as breaking ball just misses off the plate, and Eric Mast draws the 1-out walk.
And one thing that the Sunfish have really excelled with this season, and I believe they still lead the Expedition League, but stolen bases. They're very aggressive on the base paths, and I think if the Trappers want to win, especially with the Sunfish getting hotter this season, they're going to have to be more aggressive on the base paths and play Sunfish baseball to beat the Sunfish.
Yeah, the Sunfish, most aggressive team on the base paths. Is Walker Bullington out on the mound quickly? I don't know if Griffin Hassel, I didn't see him show any displeasure with the pitch that was just called ball 4. Hassel known for getting a little upset with some of the smaller strike zones. Usually he's had to deal with home plate umpire Sam Barrett. This is his first time dealing with Anthony Atkinson. But Walker Bullington with the early mound visit, and it looked like he was just being a bit direct, pointing down, saying you need to take it here, you need to focus up here, can't get too frustrated here in the first inning. And with 1 out, there's runners on first and second for Colin Adams. Adams has been on a bit of a hot streak as of late in the series against the Sioux Valley SaberDogs. Went 3 for 11 with 3 home runs. 2 in Game 2 against the SaberDogs, the game which the Trappers lost 20-7. Dancing out at second is Patrick Connor. A fastball hits the lower part of the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, and going into that series, it was Caden Cardoso who led the Trappers in home runs with 3. Adams went in, said, I can take this by myself, now has 5 home runs as the Trappers' home run leader.
And we kind of brought up just a bit ago that it is Game 2 of the second half of the season. The Sunfish at 1-0 are now on top of the Clark division, tied with a few teams. The Trappers, unfortunately, losing yesterday 6-5 in a walk-off to the Sioux Valley SaberDogs. They are 0-1 and in the bottom half of the Clark division to start off the second half of the season. Connor's dancing around at second again. Hassel checking him back a few times, but delivers a curveball just low and away.
In that game yesterday for the Trappers, it was really one of the more painful games that the Trappers have had to play this year. They had a lead over the Lewis Division leading SaberDogs for most of the ball game, letting up a 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth that tied the ball game before getting walked off in extras.
A swing and a miss by Adams on a fastball low brings the count even to 2-2. And Adams, his last time against the Sunfish, that's 6-5 loss to Sioux Falls back at the state capitol. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. He's struggled a bit against the Sunfish this season. He's been hot and cold against Sioux Falls. Ground ball, left side, Mixlr picks it up to Mix, fires it over to first, in time to a stretching Cricket Danielson. Griffin Hassel gets out of the inning with a 6-4-3 double play. One is left stranded. The Trappers are scoreless after the top of the first. We'll see what Sioux Falls can do when we return. We're back on the Sioux Falls Sunfish live stream on YouTube. It's David Coyer and Tyler Katz. I almost said Stoss because we have a Ty Stoss for you guys, and we were talking about him a lot before the game, but it's Tyler Katz, the Pierre Trappers broadcaster, joining us here in Sioux Falls. JT Mix takes the first pitch up the middle for a base hit. First pitch he sees goes straight up. He takes a hard round around first base before pulling back, and JT always aggressive on the first pitch that he sees and gets this one to work for him. Usually he's been retired as of late, but a good first pitch for JT.
Yeah, and for Ryan Cross, the left-handed pitcher for the Trappers, unfortunately for Trappers fans, this will be the final look at Ryan Cross, as due to innings limits, both him and Brent Bramlett return to Spokane after this weekend.
The lefty has made 5 starts this season as Declan Beers shows bunt but pulls back on a breaking ball inside. 1-0. It's Declan Beers, Cade Clayhuavehi, Norris McClure, Dane Frazier, Kenneth Dutka, Carter Tibbetts, Dylan Cricket Danielson, and Adonis Forte in the lineup today for the Sioux Falls Sunfish, who won last night against the Spearfish Sasquatch. A ball low makes it a 2-0 count. But for Ryan Cross, 1-3 this season in 5 starts, 27 innings pitched. He's struck out 32, has a 5 even ERA. Delivers again to Beers, this time a pitch on the lower outside corner. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. And Declan Beers had himself a game yesterday. In the same inning, he hit a triple and a home run. He was just a double away from the cycle yesterday. In his first appearance since getting a curveball straight to the throat against Hastings, he takes a bender inside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Is that something have you ever seen? Like, it's hard to get a triple and a home run in a game for the same hitter. Have you ever seen it where they've hit it in the same inning?
No.
He grounds one to the left side. That's got by Cordes. He flips it over to second, over to first. Not in time at first. JT Mix is retired on the throw from Cordes to tie Stoss at second. So the 5-4 fielder's choice is what gets him, but Declan Beers reaches. It's one out now with still a runner on first.
And almost the Trappers getting a double play of their own. They come up a little bit short. Now, what I will say about that is I have not seen it done in the same inning, but there have been a few players for both the Trappers and Trappers' opponents who have been a hit away from a cycle, including this past series against the Sabre Dogs.
Cade Kalehu of Ahee now up. Takes a pitch low. It's 1 ball, no strikes to the Sunfish designated hitter. He's coming into today's game batting .258 through the first half of the season. In the 4-5 loss on Tuesday, went 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. His worst game of the season. This time takes a heater on the inside corner to even the count at 1.
Now that one series in which that one game in which the Sabre Dogs had a batter that was a triple away from the cycle, they batted around twice in 1 inning. That was a 12-run inning for the Sabre Dogs. And needless to say, that ended up being a long game for the Pierre Trappers, as it was pretty much over from a third of the ball game on.
Well, that was the same day that Sioux Falls had that marathon against the Spearfish Sasquatch, as Cade Kalehu of Ahee fouls one to the backstop. 19-14. 19-14. There was one inning that they were starting to make it through their entire lineup, but they ended up not. They actually, let's see, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they went 14 batters in the same inning. So not as bad as what you had to deal with, but we both had to. I almost texted you that day and just like, hey, I feel your pain, man. Big Bender hits for strike 2. It's now 2-2 to Kalehu of Ahee.
And you know, it's funny, that day, June 30th, final day of June, ended up being a big scoring day. Was the highest scoring day for the major leagues so far this year. And then most of the teams in the Expedition League scored double digits.
Ground ball right side, spun around by Stoss, fired it over to second. Again, couldn't get Kalehu of Ahee on the relay from Connor. He didn't actually throw it, so this time a 4-6 fielder's choice gets Cade Kalehu of Ahee on the first, but Declan Beers makes the trot back to the dugout, and it's Norris McClure, who's the anti-beer batter today for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. If he gets a hit, it's $1 off beer for the rest of the ball. Actually, it's the rest of the ball game, rest of the inning. Zach's giving me the nod, rest of the inning. He would know more than I would. Kalehu of Ahee trying to get the attention of Crossover at first. A curveball misses in. It's 1 ball, no strikes to McClure.
Is that something new? I don't think I've heard the anti-beer batter yet.
That is new. Everyone else has the beer batter. We also have the beer batter. I was not told who it is today from you guys, so we will find it out. This time another breaking ball hits across the plate. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. But the anti-beer batter was started a few days ago. If I'm not mistaken, it was at the beginning of the Spearfish series, with Will Olson being the inaugural one. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off the end of the bat to the backstop. McClure's behind 1-2. But, yeah, and Olson, let me triple check. I believe he got a hit in that game. He did. That was the night, or no, that was Wednesday. The first game was against Spearfish. No, never mind. It was definitely Wednesday's game because Will Olson was in the lineup. A swing and a miss by McClure. He goes down swinging. And no runs cross off 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. They had 2 retired via the fielder's choice. We're scoreless after 1 from Karras Park between the Sunfish and the Pierre Trappers. Leading off for the Pierre Trappers, it'll be Ty Stoss, the second baseman, and it'll be Joey Bramante, and we'll see the first at-bats of the newest Trapper, Andrew Kim. And now I feel like there's a lot of Trappers this season who have made their season debut against the Sioux Falls Sunfish. Is that a fair statement?
I think it is, but you also have to remember, as the first pitch will be called a strike to Stoss, that a lot of Sunfish have made their debut against the Trappers. There's one game that I remember writing no stats available this season as another pitch misses for a ball that will even it at 1-1. But there were 5 or maybe 6 of the 10 starters that game that did not have previous stats for the Sunfish.
And that was actually here from Karras Park. A slow roller to third. Frazier charge again. Fires over to first. Not in time. An infield hit for Ty Stoss. That was very slow roller. I think he just got a piece of that one. It was up the third base line. Dane Frazier was charging in. His arm was strong enough, but the throw, by the time he made it, was just not in time. It'll be Joey Bramante, who, despite having a 189 this season overall, he's been one of the more successful Trappers against the Sioux Falls Sunfish. He'll get his first at-bats against Griffin Hassel. A breaking ball high will miss 1 ball, no strikes. So runner on first, no outs. Fastball right down the middle is fouled to the backstop. Bramante giving himself a nod, knowing he just missed that one, and that's a dangerous pitch to be given to him. As well, Bramante has a couple home runs against the Sioux Falls Sunfish. In fact, coming into today's game, he's batting .348, which is the third highest batting average on a pickoff attempt over to first. Third highest batting average by a Trapper against the Sunfish this season. In fact, 2 home runs and a double. He just seems to hit better against Sioux Falls. And again, we've talked about this before. He fouls one off of his leg. It's a 1-2 count. We talked about this before, Tyler, that, I mean, when you play 12 games in a span of a month against each other, a month that only has 30 days, so almost half of the days in the month of June were Trappers versus Sunfish, I mean, you start to get a little bit better.
Right, and we were talking about it, 15 games between June 4th, which was the first game between the two teams, and July 4th.
Curveball misses low. It's now an even 2-2 count.
So that it is exactly half of the month, 15 out of 30 days.
Which is absolutely crazy. And I talk a decent amount on our streams here in Sioux Falls. Pickoff attempt at first, no tag by Cricket Danielson. But I've talked about it a decent amount, and at some point it starts probably getting tiring for the listeners to hear. But just some of the scheduling that has happened in the Expedition League. One thing I found out for Spearfish, fastball, 87, just misses outside. It's now a full count. That was a good pitch by Hassel there. But Spearfish, this season, out of their entire season, I think will play... It's either 13 or 23 games against Clark Division opponents. This time, a changeup misses outside, and Griffin Hassel has now walked another runner on board. And with no outs, Andrew Kim, in his first appearance as a Pierre Trapper, will have 2 runners on here in the top of the second inning with no one away.
A big opportunity for Andrew Kim, the D1 talent, and not only that, but a Power 5 talent for the Pierre Trappers for the Illinois Fighting Illini. Wears number 5 this season for the Trappers. Thought it was number 11, but he will take over Christian Dumont's number.
Fastball at the knees will hit for a strike, and the first pitch seen here in the Expedition League by Andrew Kim is a strike. And this is the first player that I can think of, or at least that the Sunfish have played against, from the Big Ten. He grounds one to the right side. JT Mix charging, spins, fires to McClure, over to first, not in time. A 4-6 fielder's choice gets Joey Bramante, but Ty Stoss moves over to third, and Andrew Kim will reach on his first ever at-bat in the Expedition League. A 4-6 fielder's choice gets him at first, and now there's runners at the corners with 1 out for Braden Cordes. Now, that's a tough play. We've seen this a lot, at least in this game. Some of these tough spins for the second baseman having to fire over. Pickoff attempt There's caught in a rundown. Cricket over to McClure. They're checking at the runner at third. McClure's charging back. The throw to Cricket. Danielson, the tag. He got him. It looked like Kim was trying to swim out of the way, but he must have got him on the hand, did Dylan Cricket Danielson. And now there's 2 outs with just the go-ahead run 90 feet away for the Pierre Trappers. And Braden Karras hasn't even seen a pitch.
No, and that's something that the Trappers need to work on. When you have a runner caught between first and second, at least have one runner advance. If the runner is caught going home, have one go to second base. That's a mistake that could come back to hurt the Pierre Trappers.
Absolutely. A fastball hits to the outside corner for Braden Karras. He's down 0-1. And actually, in yesterday's game against the Sasquatch, it was bases loaded, 2 outs. And there was a runner on first. It was Hayden Driggs as a fastball again hits at the knees, and Karras is down 0-2. Driggs was caught off first. He was looking like he was just running to second or lost track of the count or something. Seth Surratt from third base was trying to score and on the rundown between first and second, and it was Jonathan Brandon who would throw it home and get Surratt on the tag. Will Olson would make the tag, and the Sunfish are pretty good in those situations. Again, getting a runner caught stealing at first. Here's the 1-2, a fastball low and away. But if there's anyone who knows something about being caught stealing, it is the Sioux Falls Sunfish. They lead the league in caught stealing on the base paths.
Now, don't sell the Sunfish short. They're also the league leaders in stolen bases as well, just showing that they're very aggressive.
The 2-2, a curveball misses low. Anthony Atkinson's had some pretty late calls on his balls and strikes. Griffin Hassel was looking like he was about to walk off the mound, thinking that one might have hit. Instead, Atkinson calls a ball. Here's the payoff pitch from Hassel. Fastball right down the middle is fouled off to keep Karras alive. Now, we've had, in the past couple days, Sunfish listeners have gotten to listen to the likes of Gannon Thompson and Pete Weil, but now we have Tyler Katz, the Trappers broadcaster, on the Sioux Falls Sunfish live stream. The payoff again, this time it's popped high to right field. Declan Beers will be running to his left and making the catch on the trot for out number 3. Only 1 hit in that inning for the Pierre Trappers. No one will cross as Ty Stoss is stranded at third base. After the top of the second inning, we remain scoreless on the Sioux Falls Sunfish Radio Network. On this 4th of July weekend, it's the Sunfish and the Trappers, because why wouldn't it be? Game number 13 between the two of them. The series is tied at 6 apiece. The Sunfish went to the state capitol and took one against the Trappers just last week. And now it's their last time meeting here at Karras Park, and it's Dane Frazier to lead off the second inning. He takes a big bender outside.
You know, David, that seemed very passive-aggressive, and I can't help but think you're tired of seeing me.
I don't think it's necessarily you that I'm tired of seeing of, Tyler. I think it's just a matter of when you play the same team 13 times, it gets a little exhausting.
I mean, I see how it is. I'm hurt. That's all I have to say.
Okay, Frazier lines one into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Cardoso coming over and gets away from him. Frazier's on his way to second. The throw in from Cardoso cut off by Ty Stoss. And it'll be a single. Advancing on what I'm assuming is going to be an E9. We'll see what the official scoring is going to be. They haven't put anything up on the scoreboard yet, but that's because our statistician, Matt Anderson, is pulling triple duty. He's scoring, working scoreboard, I think, and doing PA. It's Kenneth Dutka now at the plate. The infield corners are coming in, expecting bunt from Dutka as a pitch misses just low to Dutka. Again, point streak has not been updated yet, but that was a nice hit down the line. And they are officially putting the error up on the scoreboard. So it's going to be a single with an E9 that got Frazier on second, and Dutka has a runner in scoring position. He takes ball 2.
So if you were, you also agree that it's single E9?
Yeah.
I think it had the distance to go double, but that's just me.
I think it did, but if you kind of were watching Dane Frazier and the way that this ballpark plays, and there's a curveball that misses low, it's 3 balls, no strikes to Dutka. I do agree that it had some distance down the right field line. That is the shortest part of the ballpark, 310 to the right field corner, 320 to the left, 395, of course, to dead center. Here's the 3-0. Fastball just misses low and away, and Dutka draws the 4-pitch walk. Usually on those, you see a fastball almost right down the plate, and Dutka's not one to swing, but he takes one low and away, and now there's runners on first and second. But what I was going to say is, the way that Frazier was looking, it looked like he was just rounding first, taking a hard turn, but then I think when Cardoso kind of kicked it away, I think that's when you draw the E9, especially with a kick as big as that one, as Carter Tibbetts takes one high to right field. Cardoso has a chance to redeem himself. There it is. And Dane Frazier will stay on second for out number 1. You see where I was going with that? Like,
yeah.
You understand
Yeah.
my reasoning? I've witnessed more games here at Karras Park, I think. I think you're pretty close, though, because I think a lot of our home games here have been against the Trappers.
Well, you had a 3-game series against Spearfish. You had a 3-game series against Hastings and a 3-game series against Souris Valley. So I've seen 9 less games, unless there's something else that I'm not considering.
Nope, I think that's about all we've ever had here, because Wheat City never came here. The Sunfish have always gone to Grand Forks. The one home series we were supposed to have was in Carroll, Iowa. Curveball hits at the knees to Dylan Cricket Danielson, who's behind 0-1. So there was the game at Carroll, Iowa. Other than that, yeah, no. It's only been about half you guys, half 3 other teams. Sunfish don't really get traveling to other places until July or August, as Cricket Danielson rips this one down the left field line, hooking far foul. Just missed that one. We were joking in the dugout last night, and Tyler, you might get a kick out of this, that someone thought that Dylan had gotten about 2 home runs, and Dylan's just like, no, I'm the guy who every home run I've had has been a double, because every hard hit ball he gets goes just to the wall and misses by about 4 inches and becomes a double.
Yeah, that cannot be
It's
a
not
fun season. I mean, you're getting doubles, but when you miss by that much, it's got to get frustrating at some point.
Oh, especially when Dylan, he's been struggling this season as a Sunfish, batting .119. He's got 2 doubles on the season out of his 5 hits. And he leads that broken bat up the middle just past the glove of Cross, but picked up, fired over to first, and he got a double play. Ty Stoss coming over, getting the 4 unassisted, thrusts it over to 3 double play. And Dylan Cricket Danielson leaves Dane Frazier stranded out there as Dutka was out number 1 on the 6 unassisted, 3 double play. No runs off, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. A mirror of that first inning for the Sunfish. After 2 from Karras Park, it's the Pierre Trappers nothing, the Sioux Falls Sunfish nothing on the Sunfish live stream on YouTube. I stand corrected. I went off the air saying it was identical to the first inning for Sioux Falls, but in fact there was one Trapper's error. Tyler was adamant that I bring up the Trapper's error on the stream.
Whoa. Whoa. Just because I'm correcting you doesn't mean you have to come at me.
I'm not coming at you. You're the one who said, hey, there was an error there as Thomas McKenna takes a fastball in for ball one. You were saying, hey, there was an error there, so you really wanted me to bring that up and remind the fans that the Trappers did have an error.
I'm sorry that I just wanted to make sure you had the correct information.
I'm giving you a hard time. This is why we have fun. Myself, David Coyer, Tyler Katz doing another dual broadcast today. Here's the 1-1 to McKenna. He lines this one down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit. Rolls all the way to the wall. McKenna on his way to second. Declan Beers picking it up. McKenna is going to slow down and trot into second for a stand-up double to kick off this third inning. A nice hit down the right field line. Beers having a tough time picking that one up in the corner on the warning track dirt. And with no outs, we're back to the top of the order with Caden Cardoso and Patrick Connor due up. Cardoso at the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking.
McKenna's had a pretty decent span for the Pierre Trappers. His last game going 3 for 5 with an RBI. Has had a lot of big base hits.
Cardoso takes the first pitch and skyrockets it to center field. Coming in is Dutka. Coming out is McClure. McClure makes a basket catch. How about that one? Dutka was running in. I didn't think he had the best jump on it, but I thought he was going to be the one to call off McClure. McClure was slightly drifting back and caught the ball at his hip. That was a dangerous catch to make, wouldn't you say, Tyler?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that it was a ball in which neither fielder seemed to call the other one off, and then neither of them almost made the catch. Thank goodness for the Sunfish that McClure was able to reach out and make the catch on the ball.
Patrick Connor taking a changeup at the knees. That's Hassel's best pitch. He likes to start off counts with the changeup. Says 9 times out of 10 that will hit the zone, and he started off Connor with this one. Connor singled and was left stranded at second his first time up. There goes McKenna. The delivery by Hassel. Throw down by Tibbetts. That sails into left field. McKenna up and running home. And the E2 by Carter Tibbetts is going to score McKenna, who was swiping third, and a late throw by Tibbetts went far right of third base, and the Trappers strike first.
I have to do it to you. You know there's an error in this inning. Now I'm adamant that you tell the fans about the Sunfish error.
Well. You had to do it. You had to do it.
I had to do it.
I'll give that one to you. As Patrick Connor fouls one off for strike one. So Caden Cardoso flew out. Thomas McKenna had the leadoff double, and there's one away here in the top of the third inning. The Trappers now lead by 1. Connor grounds one to the left side. That's through a diving McClure at short for another base hit. Patrick Connor 2 for 2 with singles, and it's now Eric Mast who walked the last time up.
You know, McKenna was safe on that stolen base regardless of the throw down. So regardless of whether or not Tibbetts committed that error, that base hit into left field by Patrick Connor would have scored the run for the Trappers regardless. So the Sunfish can't beat themselves too much over that error.
Runner goes. Eric Mast takes a pitch low, and Carter Tibbetts lets that one get by. So an easy stolen base for Patrick Connor. And the Trappers are being very aggressive on the base paths today. Carter Tibbetts behind the plate. He's been struggling a bit as of recent, letting a few balls get by to the backstop in his past couple games. And on some of the throws, the arm not the strongest, bouncing a bit sometimes to the base, and this time having the throw down to third go into left field. So now a runner on second, 1 out. Double play ball is off. Norris McClure standing right behind Connor at shortstop. The two shortstops having a bit of a chat. Gives him a tap on the backside, and a swing and a miss by Eric Mast makes it a 1-1 count.
And I was talking about in the first inning that the Trappers need to play Sunfish baseball and be aggressive on the base paths. That's what they've been doing, and it's been working for them. They have a 1-run lead.
Absolutely, and when there's stolen bases, the Sunfish seem to struggle a bit more. Obviously, you get the stolen bases to advance on the base pass. This one is hit into the gap. That's going to fall for a base hit. Declan Beers making the stab. The runner's going home. The throw from Norris McClure is going to be wide. No tag, and on the single by Eric Mast, Patrick Connor scores from second, and I was just about to start saying it. When there's stolen bases allowed by the Sioux Falls Sunfish, it always seems, especially against the Trappers, when the next batter, they'll get a hit, and with a runner in scoring position on second, they always somehow end up scoring, and it is very detrimental to the Sioux Falls Sunfish. And, well, like you said, Tyler, the Trappers have been playing Sunfish baseball today. It'll be Colin Adams, who grounded into a double play his first time up, coming up with one out. Takes a slider outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
And Adams, in that last series against the SaberDogs, only had 3 base hits, but all 3 of them left the yard.
Pickoff attempt at first, no tag by Dylan Cricket Danielson. And that's just got to be exciting, having 3 base. Obviously, because I said he was 3 for 11. And when you go 3 for 11 in a series, that's not terrible. That's just under 300. Runner goes. Adams rolls over one down the third base line. That's going to be foul. Right past the bare hand of our team photographer, Josh Juergens. Juergens wearing all red today. Speaking of what he's wearing, let's talk about what these two teams are wearing. I haven't said that yet, and we're in the 3rd inning. I'm getting angry at myself for that. The Sunfish wearing their all whites. White pants with the white trim. With the black hats. The orange and teal SF with the teal brims. Adams takes a breaking ball on the outside half for a strike. It's now 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the Trappers are wearing white pants with the black trim down the sides. Their navy blue jerseys with, Tyler, you're going to have to help me. That says Trappers across the chest, correct?
Trappers in gold with white trim across the sleeves and down the front of the jerseys as well.
Swing and a miss on a curveball from Griffin Hassel. And Adams goes down, and now 0-2 on the day for strikeout number 2 for Hassel. It'll be Ty Stoss who kicked off the 2nd inning with a single. And another lefty. Again, the Sunfish dealt with a lot of lefties in the Spearfish Sasquatch lineup. Have you guys played Spearfish yet?
We have. It was a 2-game series at Black Hills Energy Stadium in Spearfish. It was a 2-game sweep for the Sasquatch.
And did you notice, did they have just as many lefties? A pickoff attempt. Got him at first! We'll get to that in a moment, Tyler, but a nice pickoff move by Griffin Hassel gets Eric Mast. A nice tag by Dylan Cricket Danielson. The Trappers strike first. 2-run score off 3 hits, 1 error, no one left on base. It's 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be Adonis Forte and JT Mix, Declan Beers. The first 3 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Trappers strike first with 2 runs scoring in the top of the 3rd. They were very aggressive on the base paths. But it'll be Adonis Forte who's been on a hot streak. As of late, he takes a breaking ball low. Adonis is batting .348. He's climbed the ranks of the Sioux Falls batting average. Fastball misses low. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. His last appearance against Spearfish went 0 for 1 with 3 walks. Otherwise, he went 1 for 4 the previous night. He played Tuesday and Wednesday, did not play in last night's win against the Sasquatch. Another pitch misses low, and it's 3-0 to Adonis.
And one thing I've noticed about Forte is he started off with a lower batting average as he takes ball 4 and will take the free pass over to first base on 4 pitches. But he's been climbing the ranks in batting average when he first started playing the Trappers. And even back to the June 16th series was batting .317, but a lot of batters were closer to the top of the batting average lines, especially early on in the season. And as you mentioned, he kept on climbing and climbing to where he is now at .348.
I mentioned that earlier in the broadcast as JT Mix swings out another first pitch, this time fouls it to the back netting. That's just his second pitch seen today, and that foul ball is brought to you by Keg Chicken. Order it, eat it, crave it, Keg Chicken. But Adonis and Declan, 2 players this season who have been 1 hit away from a cycle. The pickoff attempt, no tag by Bramante. Adonis back on the 27th against the Hastings Sodbusters was just a home run away from the cycle. His only home run this season coming in front of his dad on Father's Day against Wheat City and Carroll, Iowa. As JT takes a hanger outside, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. You guys haven't had a cycle yet for the Trappers, have you?
I think there have been a couple times where it's been a hit away, but no cycles completed yet.
Here's the 1-1. Misses high, and it's 2-1. And to my knowledge, or at least from what I've heard through the grapevine, which us broadcasters usually like to brag about what our teams have been doing, I have not heard anything about a cycle happening this Expedition League season. Here's the 2-1. Mix brushed back a bit. On a pitch in, it's 3 balls, 1 strike.
No, and we do often talk between broadcasters of the Expedition League. It's a very tight community. We all joke, trash talk a bit. It's all in good fun.
Mix rips this one into left field. That's going to fall in front of Andrew Kim for a base hit. JT 2 for 2. That's his first time with a multi-hit game in quite a while. He's been struggling a bit. He did go 2 for 3, actually. My correction, he went 2 for 3 on Wednesday against the Sasquatch, but before then, hadn't had a multi-hit game since June 17th. But he's already got it through 3 innings here tonight, and there's 2 on now with 1 away. No away, excuse me. Adonis Forte was, sometimes, you check the Karras Park scoreboard, and he'll say something that's not necessarily true, as Declan Beers shows bunt and takes a strike. So there's no outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Runners on first and second. Joey Bramante playing in the infield grass as Declan Beers skyrockets this one, but it's going to be out of play.
But I bring up the point of the community of broadcasters, and I think you know where I'm going with this. Yesterday there was some talk of potentially putting it together a broadcasters-only home run derby at the All-Star festivities in Casper. I know I would lose, but I would participate.
I think we would have to bring the outfield wall in quite a bit as a nice bender just misses from Ryan Cross. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes still to Declan Beers.
All right, new proposal. It's like the celebrity softball game at the actual All-Star game, but it's the broadcaster softball game.
See, with 12 people, we'd have 1 team. Where'd we get the other team? Is this time a hard fastball misses in the left-handed batter's box. Good stop by McKenna, keeping the runners in put at first and second.
All right, final idea. Broadcasters on 1 team.
We're just, busting out ideas. We got this. You have to have your first proposal followed by a few more. So we got this. We're doing good.
We just need to find another team to play. That's all I'm saying.
Breaking ball misses in. It's now full count to Declan Beers. Okay, here's how I'm going to play off of that idea. We have broadcasters versus general managers.
I agree.
We're getting a good luck from our GM, Nick Moen, who I guarantee would go 0 for 5 with 6 strikeouts. Yes, you heard me right. Here's the payoff. Drilled high and deep to right center field. Going back is Mast. He'll catch it on the run. Both runners will tag. The throw is going to sail over second base, but stopped by Patrick Connor on the run. A hard throw in from Eric Mast. He's got a cannon out there and almost cost his team a run. If that wasn't cut off by Patrick Connor, I think Adonis Forte might have taken home.
And Eric Mast has really been an elite outfielder so far for the Trappers. Seems to cover endless amounts of ground. And for the Sunfish, very good idea tagging up even that more dangerous route from first to second. It was deep enough. And luckily for the Sunfish, the throw in for Mast just sailed over Stoss's head.
A nice sac fly by Declan Beers. And when you got two of the fastest Sunfish on the base paths, and Adonis Forte, JT Mix, they actually are the top 2 in stolen bases on the team. Cade Kalehu-Avehi takes a breaking ball that misses just low. It's 1 ball, no strikes. So obviously you knew Adonis is going to third. That's no question. And I was actually a bit surprised to see JT go, but he's one of the more aggressive guys on the base paths. The 1-0 taken in. Almost swung on by Cade, but a good take inside. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And you talked about the Trappers playing Sunfish baseball, and now the Sunfish are playing Sunfish baseball. Lead the Expedition League in walks. Cade, one of the best in that category. He's got 18 on the season, free bases. Pulls one down the left field line, just foul. That was right where the infield met the outfield, and it just missed, I'd say, about 2 or 3 inches. Would you say just foul?
Yeah, maybe half a foot. I think it was a little farther than
I'm not good at guesstimating.
It was down the line.
But, man, that was absolutely ripped by Cade. Took the 2-0. Now it's 2-1. Breaking ball taken low. It's now a 3-1 count. And that's one thing. While they don't have the hits or the runs really to show for it, just 3 hits, no runs for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. They have been taking a lot of pitches against Cross today, getting these counts up high. And here's the 3-1, a nice curveball. Misses outside, 70 on the radar gun, but man, did that have a lot of bend. You get to see that every time he's out there pitching. You get to watch that beautiful piece of work on that curveball.
Yeah, every time.
Wow.
And unfortunately, as Nolan Summerfield will come out to talk to Ryan Cross, this is the final time that the Trappers and Trappers fans will get to see Ryan Cross out on the mound. I mentioned it earlier, and we're expecting Brent Bramlett to come in relief, as it will be both Cross and Bramlett's final game as members of the Trappers.
They've been Sunfish killers, if I'm not mistaken. Cross, he's had a few games against Sioux Falls this season. In fact, his second game, well, I guess it's only 1 game. It seems like, out of 12 games played this season, you think you'd see Ryan Cross a bit more. But he went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs, only 1 of them earned, 6 hits, 2 walks, but 7 strikeouts, and he's been dealing today, except a curveball misses low there. With the bases loaded, 1 out, it's the anti-beer batter Norris McClure up to bat.
Now, the scary thing for the Trappers is McClure has been a Trapper killer, including a big home run back on June 17th at Hyde Stadium.
Ground ball, third base side, backhanded by Cordes, throws it home on the hop, gets by McKenna. Luckily, that rolls off the backstop as JT Mix looked like he was about to take home. And a throw in goes wide. Adonis Forte will score. Everyone else is safe. The lead has now been cut in half as the Sunfish are on the board. So a throw from Cordes at third. He had a nice backhanded stab. It's now 2-1 for Dane Frazier, who singled and reached second on an E9 his last time up. It looks like there has not been a score on the scoreboard yet. Frazier takes a fastball right inside for strike 1. Still no update on the scoreboard. We'll see what they're giving that on Point Streak. They have not updated that either. Again, Matt Anderson, our scoreboard operator, scorekeeper, and PA, doing a fantastic job so far tonight. As a curveball misses outside, it's 1-1.
And it's just ruled as a fielder's choice, so no error for Karras as Forte comes home to score on a fielder's choice where everybody is safe.
Fielder's choice, that works out too. Thought maybe with the throw going wide, it might be marked as an error. As Frazier lines this one up the middle, that's going to get through for a base hit. JT Mixlr score. Eric Mass throws it up the third baseline. McKenna was about to throw it to try and get Kate Kalehuavehi at third. Braden Karras wasn't covering, so now Dane Frazier with the single ties this game up as JT Mixlr score. Norris McClure heads to second, Kate Kalehuavehi to third. And with one out, the only out being the sac fly by Declan Beers, it's now Kenneth Dutka who rolls over the first pitch, but it's going to go into the Sunfish dugout for strike one.
Good barehanded play by on-deck batter and Carter Tibbetts before it could get to the screen.
Kenneth Dutka the other night against a Spearfish position player as he takes a curveball in the dirt. It's a 1-1 count. Against a Spearfish position player, it was Kenneth Dutka who hit the first Sunfish grand slam in history. Swings through a fastball away. It's now 1-2 strikes. But he absolutely blasted one over the American sign in right center field and cleared the bases late in the game. Pitch misses in the dirt in the right-handed batter's box. It's a 2-2 count.
And I know you were talking about it earlier this year, but you mentioned that the Sunfish started out not great with the bases loaded.
Not at all. Here's a 2-2 poke to the right side, stopped by Stouse, flips it over to second. Connor having a quick tap his foot on the base and couldn't recover to try and throw anywhere. Another run will score on the fielder's choice. Norris McClure safe at third. Dane Frazier heads back to the Sunfish dugout on the 4-6 fielder's choice.
So here's where I get confused, and maybe you saw it a little better than I did, but with the bases loaded on a play on a routine ground ball, and I understand that he maybe thought he could have gotten two, but why wouldn't you go home for the first out?
I think what you do there is you do try and get the double play. Dutka's off on the first pitch. The throw feigned by McKenna. Strike right down the middle. No swing by Tibbetts. Dutka takes second base for free, and now there's two runners in scoring position. But on that one, you definitely, I think he made the right choice. Stouse just didn't have the best throw over to Connor at second, so they couldn't turn two. Tibbetts now takes a big bender, but it misses low. It's 1 strike. So obviously, yeah, you want to get that lead runner, but instead that might just be one out. If you turn two, it doesn't matter if the run scores. Tibbetts swings through another curveball, brought down to a knee. It's 1-2. 1-2 strikes from Ryan Cross. Two in scoring position as Tibbetts takes one that's blocked by McKenna in the dirt. It's Deuces Wild. They don't have the batter's number out there, but I know Carter Tibbetts number 2, and we got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
You mentioned it the last dual cast, and it's coming back with a vengeance as Tibbetts swings through for strike number 3. Sunfish get 3 runs in the bottom of the third, and they take the lead.
3 runs off, let's see, we'll make the count. 1 hit, 2 hits, that's all I have. 3 runs off 2 hits, 1 more error, no errors actually, excuse me, with 3 left on base. 2 left on base. Gosh, that was a struggle for me. Let's do that again. 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. The Sunfish take the lead in the 3rd inning. It's 3-2 Sioux Falls when we return to Karras Park. We're back in the top of the fourth inning, and Sunfish fans, you've heard them on the Trappers broadcast, but now you get to hear them on the Sunfish live stream. It's Tyler Katz. Tyler, take it away.
David, thank you for the opportunity as the Trappers lead things off down by a run in the top of the fourth with Ty Stoss leading things off. A single stranded at third in the last inning, taking on Griffin Hassel in his fourth inning of work. First pitch, fastball right down the center of the plate for strike number one. So for the Trappers, they've been struggling this season with letting up runs after they score in the top half of the inning as a line drive hit deep to right center field. Back goes Dutka, has a read on it, will reach up towards warning track and make the catch. A deep fly ball for Stoss will end up in the glove of Kenneth Dutka.
And now, I'm not an athlete. I will not try and make myself out to be an athlete. Last night after the game, myself, some of the coaches, and a few of other interns were taking some BP, so I got to actually experience the Ronken Field outfield, and I have respect for Dutka having a good read on that, especially how deep that was. Back by that national champion sign out in right center field as Joey Bramante takes a ball in the dirt that gets away from Carter Tibbetts. But out there, the wall actually kind of juts back a little bit, and that's where that ball was heading, but Dutka having the nice read on it, getting it with the speed.
I've only made one trip to the outfield during BP this year. That was in Fremont as Bramante takes the second pitch high. He goes ahead in the count 2-0. Hassel struggles reining the throwback from Tibbetts in. Bramante has been hit or miss this season for the Trappers. There are games where he goes off, goes 2 for 3, 3 for 4, but there are days where he goes 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. As the 2-0 will catch the outside part of the plate. We'll run the count to 2-1. Bramante batting 189 on the season. Walked in his previous at-bat, getting out between first and second off the Andrew Kim fielder's choice. Big swing and a miss by Bramante. We'll run the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So you're talking about him going 2 for 3, 3 for 4. I think all of those happen to be against the Sioux Falls Sunfish. We talked about how he's batting over 300 against Sioux Falls, and he's been struggling today as he fouls this one to the backstop. But man, you mentioned all those and how he's been a bit streaky, but again, I think a lot of those have happened against Sioux Falls.
Big game against the Sabre Dogs back on Tuesday, 2 for 3 with a double and a home run. The 2-2 grounded up the third baseline will hook foul as Frazier makes a play on it. Count will remain 2-2. And we talked about how the Sunfish now experimenting with a anti-beer batter, Bramante, the normal beer batter today. 2-2 pitch will catch the strike zone. Called strike 3. Bramante can't believe it as the home plate umpire and Anthony Atkinson gave it a normal strike call. Bramante said did that strikeout looking, and he goes with the rest of it, finishing the punch out.
That's strikeout number 3 for Griffin Hassel, who, well, he's been looking good today, albeit the 2-run top of the third inning. And while Atkinson, he calls a ball on a curveball that just misses in. And he's got a bit of a smaller strike zone through the few games that the Sunfish have dealt with him. This time a changeup swung on and missed.
So Andrew Kim becomes the new batter out of the University of Illinois. Out of Libertyville, Illinois, his hometown, went 143 for the Fighting Illini as he swings through a 1-1. We'll put the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 hits, 1 stolen base. And of those 3 hits, he sent one over the wall for Illinois. The 1-2 inside part of the plate count will run even to 2-2. In fact, when I was learning a bit more about Kim on the bus ride down from Minot today, from Nolan Summerfield, who's the first base coach for the Trappers on the road, he is a student at the University of Minnesota, said he stole a base as a foul ball will go back into the screen. Ended up being the only stolen base of the year for Andrew Kim, was against Summerfield's own Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Now, it's tough for me to hear both of those teams. You're obviously you're from the East Coast. You're from Florida. You go to Virginia Tech. Here's the 2-2. I'll give you the punch-out call.
Strike 3 called as Atkinson imitates a ninja going through and punching through the air for the punch out. Middle of the fourth inning. 3-2 Sunfish lead. We'll be back for the Sunfish half of the fourth inning with Cricket Danielson, Forte, and Mix due up. Back for the bottom of the fourth inning, it will be Cricket Danielson, Forte, and Mix due up for the Sunfish, trying to add some insurance. They currently lead by 1, 3-2 heading into the bottom of the fourth. Cricket Danielson 0 for 1 after grounding into the double play.
And Cricket Danielson struggling, well, all season, but more specifically against the Trappers, who he's seen quite a bit. In fact, early on in the season, it was really only the Trappers who Cricket Danielson had played against as he takes a ball low. In fact, he has had 2 golden sombreros on the season. That means 4 strikeouts in one game, one of which came in Pierre against the Trappers.
Cricket Danielson, last base hit was back on June 27th against Hastings. Pitch will go high and outside. And a 3-0 count now from Karras to Cricket Danielson. Karras has struggled a bit more with control today than in prior appearances. But Cricket Danielson has been struggling minorly with the bat in his hand. Pitch will go low and inside. That will be ball number 3 instead of the previous pitch. Cricket Danielson batting 119 coming into today's ballgame.
He's got a good eye at the plate, and it seems like he's either a strikeout or a walk in most of his at-bats. This time he takes a fastball on the outside corner. And that's one thing that I've been noticing all game is you just talked about that Karras has been struggling to find the zone a little bit. Well, on most 3-0 pitches, you kind of get a pitch right across the plate. Instead, Karras has kind of been painting the corners. This time he misses low, and it's a leadoff walk for Dylan Cricket Danielson. But, you know, instead of getting a sure strike right down the middle, there's actually even the pitch to Kenneth Dutka. Missed on the outside corner while he was trying to paint it.
Well, it brings up a great batter. We talked about him last time he came up, Adonis Forte. Shows bunt, will pull back on a pitch low and outside for a ball number 1. But Cricket Danielson, the runner at first base. Forte has been heating up. He's batting .348 on the year. Had a small hitting streak as Cricket Danielson takes off, but dropping the ball, and the transfer out of the glove was McKenna. An easy stolen bag for Cricket Danielson. The aggressive base running for the Sunfish continue. They have a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Cricket Danielson not one to swipe too many bases this season. He does have 6. He's been caught quite a few times as well, and McKenna's got a nice arm behind the plate. So a bold decision by Dylan to take that one, and ended up working out for him on the risk.
1-0 to Forte will miss inside. Ball number 2. Forte did walk in his previous at-bat, coming around to score in the 3rd inning. Cross a check over at Cricket Danielson. The pitch outside, ball 4. Two consecutive walks for Ryan Karras as it brings back up the top of the order in JT Mix, who's 2 for 2 today, so that spells some danger for the Pierre Trappers.
And last time that Mix came up, there was not a runner in scoring position. He's been aggressive like he always is, swinging at the first pitch, and now with 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position, well, the ball to the outfield might score another run for Sioux Falls.
Mix singled later, coming around to score off the RBI single by Dane Frazier. As another pitch will miss inside for ball number 1. Time will be called as McKenna going to come out to talk to Karras. 2 members of Spokane Falls Community College. There are 4 of them on the Trappers roster. 2 of them, as I mentioned earlier, will be leaving after today's ball game back to Spokane. Both Karras, the current pitcher, and Brent Bramlett, who we're expecting to come out of the bullpen.
So that's cool that you got, and I mean, you have a lot of teams where you got teammates on your summer collegiate teams. The Sunfish, well, they had 4 Augustana guys. Well, now they actually do again, as there's going to be a new pitcher coming in for Sioux Falls who also pitches for Augustana. The Sunfish just losing Caleb Kranz, who made his last appearance against Spearfish, a swing and a miss by JT Mix. But you got JT Mix, Will Olson, and Mitch Stroh. And the cool thing is, yesterday, actually, there was a start by Caleb Kranz. Actually, I'm going to make sure that's yesterday. No, it was Andrew Garcia who started yesterday. Correction. So this time a pitch hits at the knees to JT Mix. But it was Caleb Kranz the other night who was throwing to his catcher, Will Olson, a catcher at Augustana. Last night, JT Mix came in to try and close out the game. He got to throw to Will Olson. So 2 Augustana guys thrown to their Augustana catcher. JT, not much of a pitcher at Augie, but he got to do it last night.
Ball gets away from McKenna. Both runners will advance on the pass ball, so now 2 runners in scoring position for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. Big danger for the Pierre Trappers as they'll try to strike out Mix or at least force a play in which avoids a run to score. But with a runner at third and nobody out, it's going to take a lot of work from Ryan Cross and the Pierre Trappers defense to be able to avoid a 4th Sunfish run. Line drive center field. That's a base hit. That's going to score at least 1. Into score is Cricket Danielson. Mast fires inside, staying at third, but now heading over to second base. Fake throw by McKenna, as failing to duck out of the way was Joey Bramonti. An RBI single for JT Mix. He's having himself a day, 3 for 3.
And JT Mix just lined that one back up the middle. He's had a couple of those today. Eric Mast bobbled the ball a little bit when he was trying to go pick it up. That made it even easier for Cricket Danielson to make it home. Adonis Forte was maybe going to try. Instead, the ball was cut off, like you said, by McKenna in the field of play, and JT Mix being aggressive, taking second.
So a heads-up play for JT Mix, advancing on the throw after the single. It will be a 1-0 count to Declan Beers. Make it a 2-0 count as a fastball will miss low and outside from Ryan Cross. Not the start that Ryan Cross wanted in his last appearance in a Trappers uniform. 2-0, the windup and deal kicks away on the wild pitch. Coming in to score will be Adonis Forte. Getting to third is JT Mix. It's now a 5-2 lead for Sioux Falls.
And Adonis Forte, there's no way you're getting him. Any ball that gets near the backstop, Adonis Forte will take off, and he'll most likely score. In fact, he's one of the few who have tried to steal home on just a pitch like this. He was unsuccessful. It was kind of a close play. We thought he got under the tag, but he's getting it no matter what as Declan Beers draws the walk on the fastball up and in.
Walk number 6 surrendered by Cross, and we could be seeing his final inning if he continues to struggle with finding the zone. There is action between the Trappers dugout and their bullpen.
The tough thing is there is no outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning so far, and with 2 runners on, it's Cade Kalehuavehi. But Ryan Cross, through just 3 innings, already has 78 pitches. And, of course, you have to remember that Expedition League rule, only 35 pitches allowed in a single inning. I'm not sure how many he's up to right now.
Called strike on the outside part of the plate to Kalehuavehi, who's 0 for 1 after reaching on a fielder's choice in the first, walking and coming around to score in the third. Trappers have struggled this season as a pitching staff with walking batters. Runner goes. The throw down by McKenna will be in time. Not taking off for home, somewhat surprisingly, is JT Mix. as it took a while for George Tyree in the field to make the call. That was more than enough time for Mix to attempt to take off for home.
Absolutely, and I'm confused on that one as well, but Thomas McKenna has a cannon behind home plate. That'll be...
Infield comes in. Ball number 2, expecting potentially a suicide squeeze. The entire infield is playing on that infield grass.
That'll be the 46th base runner caught stealing this season for Sioux Falls. Again, they lead the Expedition League.
1-2. Inside, dropped by McKenna, will run the count even to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Cade's not much of a bunter, and, well, when he makes contact, a bloop or a single, that's going to get into the outfield for him.
2-2, called strike number 3, and no elaborate call this time from Anthony Atkinson. Called strike 3. It will be strikeout number 3 of the day for Ryan Cross.
Almost looked like Atkinson may have lost track of the count himself, but now with 2 away and a runner on third, it's Norris McClure. And again, a guy who you maybe want to have up in a situation like this with a runner potentially able to score.
Called strike on the outside part of the plate for McClure. The good news for the Trappers after Declan Beers caught stealing second base, and the strikeout to Kalehu Avehi, 2 outs in the inning. 1-2, ripped into left field, chasing after it's Kim. Will make the first putout in his career as a Trapper, as it's a line drive to left field. McClure lines out, so Beers caught stealing Kalehu Avehi, striking out looking. McClure lining out to left. 2 more runs come across off an RBI single by Mix, and Forte crossing on a wild pitch. 2 more runs for the Sunfish, 5-2 as we head to the 5th. Back for inning number 5, the Pierre Trappers, after going 3 up, 3 down in the previous half inning. Batting once more here in the 5th. Braden Cordes, Thomas McKenna, and Caden Cardoso due up. Here comes the first from Hassel. A check swing on a pitch low. No appeal, ball number 1.
3 of the last 4, Trappers have
high
struck
fly
out.
ball, deep left field, chasing back is Forte at the warning track. Will reach up and make the catch, and missing it by a few inches on the bat is Braden Cordes. Thought it was his first of the year off the bat. It dies on the warning track.
You know, I was bringing up that the 3 of the last 4 had struck out, and then, that happened, and that kind of just made my heart skip a beat, but instead it works out for the Sunfish. There is a slight breeze blowing in from left field. It's kind of picking up. I don't know if that had the strength to kill that hit as much as it died, but maybe just enough. Maybe the wind on the Sunfish side.
Called strike to Thomas McKenna. Now, some may recall Thomas McKenna, a right-handed batter, hit a deep fly ball to right field that hit off the wall. Ground ball to the shortstop. McClure will pick it up, fire onto Cricket Danielson in time for the out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly. The 2 Spokane Falls Community College Big Feet go down in order.
So they are the Bigfoot at Spokane Falls. Is it actually, have you asked, is it Big Feet plural?
I've not asked. I've gone with it.
Are they not
this might be a bad thing, but I haven't been corrected on it.
Well, it's no. I mean, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I've done that a couple times too until I'm corrected, which is sometimes I even admit I'm probably wrong on it.
As a fly ball gets through the middle of the infield to Kenneth Dutka, 2-out single for Caden Cardoso breaks the streak of retired batters in order. It was 6 retired between Colin Adams and Thomas McKenna before Cardoso reached on another single. Trappers now out hitting the Sioux Falls Sunfish, but trail by 3 runs.
But is it just the big foot or is it the big foots?
It's the big foot. As a foul ball will head back into the Trappers' dugout, making the play.
So you've gone on their website at least, and it says it's the Spokane Falls Community College Bigfoot? Or do you not? Or
no, so...
I'm actually curious about this. Like, this is awesome.
It's Wikipedia, and it says mascot is the Bigfoot.
We're Googling this, man. We got this right now. You keep calling the game, I'll get us an answer. Now, it pains
me to say a pickoff attempt as Cardoso's back in safely, but their hashtag is Roll Squatch, which makes me think of Spearfish, who you guys just played. 0-1. High fly ball to center field. Back goes Dutka. Does have a read on it. Will reach up and make the catch for the end of the inning. We'll get you caught up on what the actual mascot name of Spokane Falls Community College is when we return. Bottom of the 5th coming up with the Sunfish. Due up, it will be Frazier, Dutka, and Tibbetts. 5-2. Sunfish, middle of the 5th. New pitcher for the Pierre Trappers, number 19, Brent Bramlett, a fellow Spokane Falls Community College member, calling Meridian, Idaho his hometown. As Dane Frazier will lead things off, so Ryan Cross has made his final appearance in a Trappers uniform. His time in Pierre is now over. As Brent Bramlett winds up and deals the pitch on the inside part of the plate to Frazier, called a strike. Now, between innings, we did look up what the mascot of Spokane Falls Community College is, and I am more confused than ever.
I am absolutely flabbergasted at this point.
Foul ball, down the line, strike number 2.
Because everywhere we are looking, it somewhere says Bigfoot and Sasquatch on the same, which, in terms of mythical creatures, it's the same thing. If anything, they're cousins. Like, I'm big on this kind of stuff. I talked about this the other day.
Foul ball spoiled back into the screen by Frazier. We'll keep it at 0-2, an 86 fastball by Bramlett.
When the Sunfish were playing the Spearfish Sasquatch, I had a nice inning talking about mythical creatures like this, and I talked about the difference between a Bigfoot and a Sasquatch, but everywhere it's either saying as they support the Sasquatch or hashtag roll squatch, but if you also go on their website, it says Bigfoot everywhere, so I'm more confused now than ever.
So a ball outside will put the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. So really what I just want to know is a foul ball will head into the screen. Trying to make a play on it with the bat was Kenneth Dutka in the on-deck circle. 1-2 will remain the count. But I'm looking on their Twitter, and so when they are announced, if they have a broadcast like we're doing here, it is Spokane Falls Community College blank versus fill-in named the Sioux Falls Sunfish, but a pitch inside will run the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'm just trying to find out, like, Bramlett plays for the blank. Is it the Bigfoot or is it the Sasquatch?
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to figure out, and we went, because you saw on their Wikipedia, it said Bigfoot. On their actual athletics website, which was very confusing, it said both Bigfoot and Sasquatch. In fact, one of their handles was the Spokane Falls CC Bigfoot Sasquatch, and it's just like, so are they both? Who knows?
Foul ball will head down the right field line, trickle towards the field of play. Count will remain 2-2, and what a battle by Dane Frazier against Brent Bramlett so far. 8
pitches in this at-bat thus far. 6 strikes, 2 balls. Again, most of them foul balls. Here's the 2-2 again.
Little dribbler over to the third base side. It was called a foul ball off the plate. Cordes did have a play on it. However, it was a worm burner up to the third base side, and the at-bat will continue for Dane Frazier.
I think that actually might have been off of his foot as Anthony Atkinson is going and getting a new ball for Bramlett. I think Frazier just getting a bit of time to heal up his foot. So we're still trying to find this because it's kind of frustrating at this point, trying to see if it's the Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Either way, it's still a cool mascot.
2-2 will be fouled back into the screen, and the at-bat will continue, and I think that was pitch number 10, meaning 11 from Bramlett to just 1 batter on the way.
Not a start that you're looking to get. Again, there's that 35 pitch rule in an inning, so if Bramlett somehow continues to ride his pitch count up and Frazier fouling off some, he'll take this one inside, and that's ball 3. So another pitch taken in this at-bat. That will be pitch 11. And while there's not that many pitches left to give, as there will be at least 12 in this at-bat.
There has been a lot of battles. I don't think I've seen one this long, as Dane Frazier will win that battle, taking the full count walk. Bramlett loses him, as it will bring up Kenneth Dutka, who's 0 for 1 today, walking and reaching on a fielder's choice. And I think I have an answer to our question.
Oh, boy.
I think on paper, it is the Bigfoot. And I'll make a comparison in just a moment, but informally, I think they are known as the Sasquatch. Foul ball will head back into the screen 0-1 with Frazier standing at first base. So I'll put it like this. The Miami Hurricanes. On paper, they are the University of Miami Hurricanes, but they're not always called that. They're called either the Miami Hurricanes. Sometimes they're called the Canes. Typically referred to on their social media as the Canes. Fly ball to left field will drop down the left field line. That will be extra bases. Rounding second and heading for third is Dane Frazier into the corner. Kim fires it in, gets all the way past and rolls into the Sunfish dugout. It will be ruled out of play. A run will come in to score. It will be a double with an error that drives Dutka over to third. Big hit by Kenneth Dutka.
Absolute great hit by Dutka. That was poked down the left field line, so an opposite field base hit for Dutka. He was at second easily, and the throw in, it looked like Thomas McKenna was kind of just watching the Dane Frazier walk into third instead of trying to follow the ball. No one was backing him up. I think he thought he had Joey Bermonti to back him up. Instead, he didn't. That rolled all the way to the netting that is on the barrier in the Sunfish dugout, which can come up, especially if a ball's rolling hard into it, as Carter Tibbetts takes the ball.
1-0 fly ball straight to Ty Stoss, who was playing in. Straight into the shift goes Carter Tibbetts on the line out to the second baseman for out number 1 of the inning. as it brings up Dylan Cricket Danielson over one today, grounding out to a double play and walking. But my comparison is the Miami Hurricanes. On paper, the Hurricanes were commonly known as the Canes.
So you're saying they're actually. So what are we saying Spokane Falls Community College's name actually is?
On paper, it is the Bigfoot.
So when you're actually like calling them, when we're talking about it, it's the Sioux Falls Sunfish versus the Spokane Falls Community College Bigfoot.
Right, but then on second reference, you can say coming up for the Squatch if you were saying the next batter or something.
Okay, so okay, I get that. And again, Bigfoot and Sasquatch, it's the same thing. I can get into that if we want to go deep into that. We're probably not going to want to, and I know you probably don't want me to go rambling about that at all, but okay, that makes sense. We got it. For all of you at home who definitely were along for that emotional ride with us, we thank you for staying along, and hopefully you're still listening to us call this game between the Sunfish and the Trappers. We were talking about a college team's name when we're focusing here on this Expedition League game.
Well, last pitch goes low and inside, a 3-0 count now to Dylan Cricket Danielson. And neither member, pitch called on the outside part of the plate, a strike, 3 balls, 1 strike, but neither member of the Bigfoot / Sasquatch have been having great outings in their final appearance for the Trappers. 3-1, pitch will roll to the backstop. It will be a walk on a live ball. The wild pitch will bring in Kenneth Dutka, and it's now a 7-2 lead.
Dutka was off the second he saw that go to the backstop. Wasn't even waiting to see if that was going to ricochet, which we've seen that a couple times today. It saved a couple runs for the Trappers, not allowing the Sunfish to score before, but Dutka was just off as that pitch got by McKenna, and Dylan Cricket Danielson has his second walk of the day.
Update on a previous play on the Dutka double. As a fly ball, foul territory down the left field line will roll out of play, hitting off the street and then off the Augustana football training facility. So an 0-1 count, but an error counted to Patrick Connor on the Dutka double that pushed him to third base. 0-1 pitch from Bramlett, swung on and missed by Forte for strike number 2. Forte this season 24 for 69, batting .347 on the year. Now an 0-2, runner at first base for the Sunfish. Runner goes, swing and a miss, a strike him out, and a no. Thought it was a strike him out, throw him out, but in safely is Dylan Cricket Danielson. Either way, Forte goes down on strikes, the first for Bramlett and the second stolen base of the ballgame. A strikeout for Forte and a stolen base for Dylan Cricket Danielson.
Thomas McKenna, man, all season long, even when we're not doing the tandem broadcast, I've been given credit where credit is due. Every throw down to second is just a strike right on the money, whether it's a bit early where he gets them or a bit late where sometimes he allows a couple stolen bases like the 2 to Dylan Cricket Danielson. Either way, they're all close. They make them close, and, well, at that point it's just on who's ever making the tag, and that one, I think Cricket Danielson just had a good jump on it as well.
Well, we'll push a runner into scoring position with 2 away. Mix 3 for 3 today, all singles. Big curveball by Bramlett falls into the strike zone. Probably one of the best curves we've seen today. 0-1 at 74 miles per hour, breaking into the zone.
How much do you like playing here at Karras Park where you get to have the radar gun? The only one in the Expedition League that I know of, at least.
Another curveball. Same location, didn't have as much break, but it does catch the strike zone for strike number 2. But it is very nice to have, and that's really been a big part of my call. I feel like I've been using it too much when I come here. Maybe not today, but definitely prior broadcasts. This foul ball will be spoiled down the right field line, 0-2. 2 away in the inning for JT Mix. Brent Bramlett trying to get out of the inning with minimal damage. 2 runs across this frame for the Sunfish. Trying to advance to 2-0 in the second half of the Expedition League season. 0-2 runs inside for ball number 1. So a 1-2 count now to Mix. really good game today in Minot, North Dakota. Fremont and Souris Valley. That's a two high-powered offenses going at each other. 1-2, pitch high and inside, and that will hit the batting helmet of JT Mix, so he remains 3 for 3 while reaching on 4 consecutive plate appearances, as it brings up Declan Beers, who's 0 for 2.
He's also reached in the last 3 innings. He was one of the 8 who had plate appearances in the 3rd inning. Only Dylan Cricket Danielson not able to get a plate appearance in that long 3rd inning in which the Sunfish scored 3. But now the Sunfish have scored in 3 consecutive innings themselves, so it looks like JT Mix, almost a good luck charm that he gets on all 3 times. It's still 7-2 Sunfish.
The reason high pitch for ball number 1 to Declan Beers, but the reason that I bring up that matchup between the Moo and the Saber Dogs is right now there's a tie at the top of the Clark, 1 game into the expedition, the second half of the season, between the Moo and the Sunfish. So a win here and a Moo loss 2 games into the second half would put the Sunfish at the top of the Clark division.
Yeah, it would. And well, you know, the Sunfish, this is with the new second half standings. This is the first time in franchise history they're actually above 500, finishing the first half at 15 and 16. Yeah, 15 and 16. Had to quick do the math. 31 games. So strikes in there for Declan Beers. So now at 15 and 17 overall in the season, they're still under 500. I think my math's correct, right?
Yep.
There we go. We were actually, nope, let's do that again. It was 14 and 17 to end the first half of the season. With the win yesterday, it's 15 and 17. Pitch misses away. It's 3-1 to Declan Beers. And, well, this is the first time 1-0. They're over 500 in franchise history. If they can get 2-0, like, that's still a perfect second half record. And, again, still a good time here in this inaugural Sunfish season.
I know you were talking about it the last time we did this dual cast. As here comes the 3-1. Pitch will miss high. The 3rd walk this inning and the 4th free pass surrendered by Bramlett. As that will load the bases for the Sunfish. Here comes Summerfield to talk to Bramlett. It will push over Cricket Danielson to 3rd base and Mix to 2nd. So the base is full of Sunfish for Cade Kalehu-Avehi, who's 0 for 2 today.
You were saying something about while I was in Pierre the last time we were on a duocast?
Boy, I think I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. You were saying that you love saying that it's the first time in franchise history for everything, despite the fact that there is nothing to compare it to with this being the inaugural season.
Oh, absolutely. It makes it sound better. You know, the fans get a kick out of it, or at least I hope they do.
Well, you've just laid your cards out on the table. The fans know your tricks now.
Oh, I tell them every time, too. Every time I say it's the first time in franchise history, well, you know, or the best in franchise history, yeah, I mean, you got to. Fans, I think, enjoy it, too, because they know, oh, my goodness, wait. I didn't think we would ever see it, but Cade Kalehu-Avehi's batting lefty. He hasn't, to my knowledge this season, he hasn't. I know he's been playing around with it in batting practice.
Pop fly into left field, all runners go, Kim underneath it. So the left-handed batter experiment for Cade Kalehu-Avehi fails with the bases loaded as the left-handed batter's box provides a fly out to left field. 7-2, Sunfish still lead. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning with Mast, Adams, and Stoss due up for Pierre.
Buffalo Wild Wings may be known for their wings, things off for the Trappers in the top of the sixth. The center fielder.
Back here in the top of the 6th inning, Eric Mast coming up to bat for the Pierre Trappers. Griffin Hassel returning for his 6th inning of work. And for play-by-play this inning is David Coyer.
And, well, we'll have a bit of play-by-play thanks Tyler. Griffin Hassel gets a fastball on the outside corner to Eric Mast, but we also have a special guest. It's already crowded with 2 people, so what did we do? We made it a bit even more crowded. It's now General Manager Nick Moen on the air as Mast takes one low. Nick, this is your 2nd time joining us on the Sunfish live stream. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Except the last time that Tyler and I had a dual broadcast, I was told that there was potentially a trade in the works where you wanted Tyler as your broadcaster, and I think now is the time for me to call you out in front of all the Sunfish fans as to why that was even somewhat proposed.
Well, since you want me to be honest, I just don't like you very much.
That's
no,
fair.
I'm kidding.
Norris McClure gets a ground ball over.
Getting to play Pierre so often as we did in the first half, it wasn't a trade you away. I was just going to trade Kelsey a little bit of cash, get Tyler to come here for the summer, and I'd get both of you here in the booth, and then she is just SOL. So
yeah,
we would get this every single night.
Oh my goodness, and I'm not sure how long the Sunfish fans would be able to deal with that, as it's Colin Adams on the ground out from Eric Mast. But Tyler, I mean, I talk to Nick all the time off the air. I think it's your turn maybe to ask him a couple questions if there's any burning questions you've had.
First season, first year as a general manager, what have been some of the challenges in getting this inaugural season up and running, and how have you really overcome those?
Yeah, that's a great question. In year one, you have to foundationally build this thing from the ground up. Everything from bus schedule to game schedule, finding a hotel partner, finding trainers, finding beer distributors, corporate partners. I mean, you name it, you have to do it to get the ball rolling here. So, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. There's challenges and hurdles in any job, but it's something where, when these games start, and I've said this to Dave a few times, that, I have the best office view in the world. Being able to sit up here in the suite and be on air with you guys is obviously great, and then just getting to soak in baseball while we're obviously working and making it a fun fan experience for everyone. It's been great.
Colin Adams rolls over one through the gap on the left side of the infield. So with one out, Adams at first, it's Ty Stoss, who's 1 for 2 with a single of his own. And Tyler, that was an absolutely fantastic question. I do say so myself.
I appreciate it. I've been practicing.
Been practicing. It's a good skill to have. A curveball just misses low. And so, Nick, you've talked about all of that, but we've talked about that, where all the struggles coming in, especially with the inaugural season with COVID and everything like that. But you've mentioned to me off the air, and I think you even you tweeted it out before the Sunfish opening day here at Karras Park. But this has always kind of been a dream of yours. And how was it coming into the season, finally getting to see everything come to fruition, and now we're halfway through the season? How's your dream living out so far halfway through your first season as a general manager?
It's been a lot of fun, man. For me as a young kid, I grew up in a baseball family. My dad had coached Legion baseball for over 20 years, and he had stepped away from that and began coaching me at the age of 5 all the way up until I was 18 in the summer. It was not my high school coach or anything, but for me, baseball has just kind of been, ingrained in our family. And for me at an early age, I had gone on to college, was going on to play college baseball, got hurt, and had a pretty bad shoulder injury and transitioned to coaching right away, which then, in a long story short, we had won a couple state championships in Minnesota, and a couple kids got drafted. I did a little bit of networking and started working at a Major League Baseball scouting service. So when I got there, I'd kind of thought, like, man, I'm around all these high school kids, going into college, getting to meet a lot of college kids all around the country, and I thought it'd be just such a dream to be able to just be a general manager of one of these summer collegiate teams, really settle in. And we've moved all over the country, my wife and I, both living on the West Coast, the East Coast, and now finally back in the Midwest, being a Minnesota native, and getting to come to the ballpark 32 times a year for home games and going to a few away games has been great.
High chopper to McClure, dug out by Dylan Cricket Danielson. They got him at first. Doesn't look like Stoss is too happy with that one. Does a couple hops behind first base, so Colin Adams will reach second on the 6-3 fielder's choice. There's 2 away here in the 6th inning. And you mentioned you've been all over the place. Obviously, you're from Minnesota. I'm from Wisconsin. Tyler here is from Florida. We have a wide array of fandoms in the press box. You got Packers, Golden Knights, and Brewers for me. You got Twins, Wild, and Vikings for you. And then you got, I know it's, I know this, you got the Marlins, the Florida Panthers. Oh, let's see, you're a Marlins, so you're going to be a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that. We had never talked about
3
that
for
before.
3.
Look at that. I remembered the first 2, and it's the last one that I just struggled with. So we got all those fandoms, and so that's fun, all from different parts of the country. It's exciting, especially all here in one booth. And, well, one of us is not welcomed here, and apparently that's me. So this is my official resignation on the air as the voice of the Sioux Falls Sunfish. Tyler Katz will be doing the Pierre Trappers and Sunfish for the rest of the season. We'll see how that works.
David, that would be a logistical nightmare. Please come back.
All right, you've convinced me. 3 balls and no strikes to Joey Bramante with 2 outs. Griffin Hassel still on the mound in his 6th inning of work. The Sunfish lead 7-2. And Tyler, I think it's your time for a question again, if you have one.
Come back to me.
Okay.
I'll think of something.
We'll come back to you. Nick, is there anything you want to mention? Obviously, we're now halfway through the season as Bramante takes a breaking ball at the knees for strike 1. We're halfway through the season. Got a couple fun promotions coming up through the month of July. Anything you want to tell the fans who are listening who might make their way out to Sioux Falls this summer?
Yeah, we have a Farmers Union insurance jersey giveaway coming up on July 13th. That'll be a big one. Bring some, non-perishable food items, be able to get one of the 500 jerseys that we'll be giving away. That's obviously a big one with partnering up with Feeding South Dakota to, obviously help people out. It's, like you mentioned about COVID earlier, there's just, you got to be mindful of, other people, other businesses, what people have gone through this last year. And it's been, a wide array of things. Some people want to, come to the ballpark and meet, and we get to walk around outside and do that. Some people want to do it over the phone. Zoom was a big thing, obviously, pre-vaccine. And, now being able to be here at the ballpark, and I walk around a lot still, trying to get the last handful of host families for us, or still working on more corporate partners even for this season, and working through that stuff. And it's been great, and now I'm getting excited to see the Hawaiian throw here as Drew Ballou is coming into the game.
Well, look at you making a call on the air. I know we've talked about you being on the air a bit more, maybe even as a color commentator. We might have to make that actually happen sometime this season. You are correct. A walk issued to Joey Bramante. The breaking ball in the dirt got away from Carter Tibbetts, which sent Colin Adams to third base. So Griffin Hassel's night is done. 5 2/3 innings, couldn't make it through this 6th. He allowed 2 runs off 7 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Hadn't allowed a run since that 3rd inning in which the Trappers took a 2-0 lead before surrendering 7 straight to the Sioux Falls Sunfish. And it is Drew Ballou on the mound. And obviously we've been around the team a bit more, Nick, and I don't think I can name a character on this Sunfish team that's more entertaining day in and day out than Drew Ballou.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we had some roster movement, like 2 weeks before the season had started, we had lost a couple guys to the MLB Draft League. We had a kid that actually had broke his leg sliding into home, and then had a couple other kids that ended up not coming, for various reasons or issues that had come up. And when Walker got here, he moved into my house. We had both gone through what I call just our Rolodex of baseball contacts that we both have, and started just getting guys from all corners of the country. I mean, Drew's from Hawaii, went and got a couple kids out of Florida, Louisiana, and just started making those moves. And I'm glad that Drew's pitching now. I have a very quick story to tell you. I went down into the dugout prior to the game today because Carson, our #1 fan, it's his 12th birthday today, so we had signed a baseball for him. He threw out the first pitch, and I had gone over to Drew to have him sign the baseball, and I said, "Hey, Drew," I said, "I just got to let you know," I said, "you're not going to Pierre tomorrow." And he's like, "Oh, why not?" I said, we got you a ticket back to Hawaii. I think you're going home the rest of the summer." And he kind of looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, Walker and I talked about it. We thought, maybe you could just go back home for the 4th of July. And he had kind of just looked at me stone-faced, didn't know what to do. And, I obviously didn't want to mess with him too much. But I had told him that I was kidding. And he walked away a little upset that he had fallen into the trap of me playing jokes on people. But, I'm glad he's pitching on the mound. I'm glad he's here, and he's got a big fan base back home in Hawaii. When I'm on the YouTube stream sometimes, I see his dad and brother going a little crazy in the comments at times. So it's shout out to them if they're watching today.
Oh, I definitely going to give them a shout out as well. The last time Drew pitched, his twin brother, that's right, there's two of them. Tyler, did you know that he had a twin brother? When we first met Drew and then I found out he had a twin brother, I'm just like, there's no way there's two of you. And he's like, yeah. And my brother's just exactly like me. I'm just like, wow. But no, he drew the master of the forkball. When he threw one, his brother had it on Instagram. I was actually watching the live stream and got excited for the forkball as well. So like brother, as Andrew Kim gets his third plate appearance of the night against Drew Ballou. He rolls over the first pitch to JT Mix, sliding, tosses it to Norris McClure for out number 3. It only took one pitch for Drew Ballou to get out of the inning. No runs crossed off one hit, no errors, 2 left on base for the Pierre Trappers. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, we'll return with General Manager Nick Moen after this.
I wonder if she was on when she heard us talking about it.
We're back on the Sioux Falls Sunfish live stream on YouTube. Tonight's stream brought to you by Norberg Paints. They have bought 100 tickets for July 16th, and you can go and get yours. Stop by Norberg Paints. Been serving Sioux Falls for 134 years. Tickets are available at both of their locations. I'll give you their locations in just a moment. I have them up here. You can either go to the one at 313 West 37th Street here in Sioux Falls or 326 East 14th Street, Norberg Paints. They have 100 tickets, and you can get yours there sometime soon. We're here with General Manager Nick Moen for Norris McClure's at-bat. Nathan June, the newest Trapper, on the mound relieving Brent Bramlett. And Nick, take it away. We're giving you play-by-play for Norris McClure. You've heard us do it. It's easy enough.
Well, we have one there that's low and away at 82 for ball 2 of the at-bat. And if there would be music playing right now, actually, Norris would probably be dancing.
That was his favorite song coming up, and I think he did just change his walk-up song,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
And we just had a fastball there at 72, high and in for ball 3, 3-0 count here.
You're doing a fantastic job. Keep it going, man. Proud of you.
Well, possibly we could trade you away then, maybe, if we have a swing and miss here by Norris there to make it a 3-1 count. Maybe we don't even got to trade you away. Maybe we could just release you back to the free agency world and see where you end up. If you clear waivers, then we'll maybe take you back.
Obviously, because every team in summer collegiate baseball right now is definitely having openings halfway through the season.
Yes.
Because broadcasters are getting added and dropped every day, you know?
I figure. I mean, just like the NCAA transfer portal right now.
Designated for assignment, maybe?
Oh, yes. I mean, maybe he could go back down and do some middle school baseball or, there's probably a t-ball tournament going on around here somewhere this weekend. But, as we see Norris take ball 4 there for a walk to lead off the inning. He'll probably start dancing here. I know I'm doing a little bit of color commentary here, but, it's one of those things for me where I can just mess around a little bit, mix it up, and, maybe I call Kelsey, and then we can release him back to the transfer portal too.
Tyler and I out of a job. We'll start our own broadcasting company. How about that? Nick, I'm going to say you did have a bad take. I have not seen Norris dance yet. Dane Frazier takes a fastball low and in for ball 1.
Yes, and when you watch him go back out to short, any song, if it comes on for 2 seconds or it plays for an at-bat, it's he'll be dancing. But we took ball 2 there for our Dane curveball up and away.
Oh, are you taking a second batter now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, we got this. I'll step away. Tyler, you can do some color commentating.
Yep, and we got a swing and miss there, 84 by Dane as he now steps out of the box and resets himself, takes a deep breath, and hopefully he hits a double in the gap here.
Well, new pitcher Nathan June looking to get acclimated after surrendering a walk. Drove here from his hometown of Frisco, Texas. Pitch outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. I had to pick you up.
Tyler.
You missed a
you
pitch.
Did. I did. I had to silence my phone. I'm a beginner at this sort of thing. And
yeah, broadcasting 101, you can't have your phone on.
Yes. As we have ball 4 there as Norris is stealing, but walk happens. Dane goes to first base, got runners on first and second with no outs with Kenny Dutka coming up to bat.
I think you're doing a good job. I think maybe if you allow me to give a bit of a critique, I think you got to talk about Norris taking off right away.
Yeah.
I think you again were a little distracted with the phone. We'll work on that.
Yes, totally. As we take ball 1 low and away, 84 miles an hour. It's to speak on him a little bit actually. It's fun seeing these new guys come in. We had. We're going to have a couple new guys coming in here. We just had one of our guys leave, go back to San Francisco today that our assistant general manager had dropped off at the airport. So as Kenny Dutka hits one to right center field, going deep, but it is in the right center gap. And we have Norris tagging to third and Dane following behind, trailing and taking second base.
That was a catch there by Eric Mast on the long sac fly. This is the second time today that we've seen both runners advance on a sac fly, but this time Dane Frazier waiting till the throw crossed through the infield, getting all the way to Braden Cordes before swiping second. With 1 out, we have runners in scoring position for Carter Tibbetts, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Look at that, a quick that's one thing too. Once something happens, you give them a quick recap just so fans know what happens. You got the curveball right there on the outside corner for strike 1. I'm doing your job for you. I'm sorry,
no,
Nick.
Am I
you
just
guys
sitting
are
in?
back.
Am I
mean,
sitting on David Coyer's School of Broadcasting
it
right
could be.
now?
I like the constructive criticism. I need to get better. I might, struggle tonight at, when I go to bed and have to be critiqued here. And we have a hit back to the pitcher and an error on his throw to first base. We had Norris cross to score. Dane advanced to third. And on the throw, Carter Tibbetts is now on second base here with still 1 out in the inning.
So an E1, like Nick said, gets by Bramante. It was a slow roller, chopper right back to the mound to Nathan June. And on his first ball that he actually gets a part of, he throws it away at first. So Tibbetts now at second, Dane Frazier at third. Norris McClure does score from third. It's now an 8-2 ball game. The Sunfish have scored in every inning since the third. 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth and fifth, and 1 now in the sixth. It's 8-2 for Dylan Cricket Danielson, who takes a fastball low and away. Now, Nick, we're talking about broadcasting. We're joking around up here in the booth. Have you ever was there a point in your lifetime where you considered broadcasting as a career?
Broadcasting, no. It's something that I do enjoy in terms of just being able to talk and shed light on things as Dylan hits a fastball as a foul ball, 83 miles an hour. But for me, I knew I wanted to work in baseball for a while. I actually wasn't in baseball for a while. I went and helped run a couple Marriott hotels and operations work, data and analytics, worked at the Major League Baseball scouting service, and now obviously in this current role is Dylan swings at what looked like a changeup, 74 miles an hour, high and away, but may have missed its spot there. But yeah, for me, I mean, you know, I've been on a lot of different podcasts, both baseball related. I've been on ones for hospitality stuff, and it's something that I enjoy to do. I mean, I hope at some point I get a chance to be on the fish tank here as Dylan swings at a 84 mile an hour fastball again and fouls it off here. But yeah, I mean, you know, you obviously are with my roommate, Walker Bullington, our head coach, who lives in my house, and he's the co-host of your podcast. He talks a lot about it when we're at home. If it's enjoying a beer after a game in the basement, hanging out, it's one of those things where, you know, I might have to slip him a little bit of money to be able to maybe get brought up the pecking order and in terms of getting on the broadcast. But I've even mentioned to you that you should have Tyler on the broadcast here one of these days and get him on, you know, if you haven't brought it up to him. I've now at least planted that seed.
We actually have, and this week with some logistical errors with Walker, might be time for a little special episode of the Fish Tank as Dylan Cricket Danielson takes a fastball looking at the knees for strikeout number 1 for Nathan June in the Trappers uniform. But we have talked, Tyler and I have talked off air about potentially having a broadcaster's episode of the Fish Tank. It was going to be a bonus episode, but now with some logistical errors this week where Walker might not be able to co-host, might have to get Tyler on there. A fastball up and in to Adonis Forte. He's called a ball. He struck out swinging his last time up.
Now, I know this has been a running joke, and in fact that the Trappers have done this earlier this season, but I could imitate Walker, be more of a try my best Coach Bullington impersonation.
You think you could, your Florida self could do a nice Tennessee, thick Southern accent, the way he quips everything, and would you be that quick on your feet like Walker would be?
If you want the cool and smooth answer, yes. If you want the honest answer, no.
I love it.
At least your honesty is the best policy. That's what I was always told. Adonis now 3-0 as that one brushes him back. Runners on second and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Sunfish lead 8-2 over the Pierre Trappers in game number 13. We're here with Nick Moen as Adonis Forte walks. That's the 3rd walk issued this inning by Nathan June, and the bases are now loaded for JT Mix. What do you think JT's going to do? Let's get your now baseball scouting analytics side. What's JT going to do here? What do you think
Let's see here.
You know him as a player. You've watched him here at Augustana.
I watched him a lot this spring. I was here working a lot when Augustana, obviously, you know, was playing their home games here in the spring. But I'm going to take a single over the second baseman's head. That scores 2 runs. That is going to be my prediction here.
Single over the second baseman's head to score 2 runs. That would be over Ty Stoss's head. Into right field to Caden Cardoso. Cardoso's got a bit of an arm out there, so having 2 runs score might be a bit difficult as the fastball is thrown just a bit too hard and it bounces off the plate into the glove of Thomas McKenna. It's 2 balls, no strikes to JT Mix.
This feels like that moment, and it's all over YouTube, where the Blue Jays broadcasters or Mariners broadcasters call a person's first career home run.
Well, that one's grounded up the middle. That will be a base hit. Here comes Tippett's rounding third. The throw in's going to be wide right. The throw now to McKenna gets JT Mix in a pickle. Both runs will score. No throw is going to be made as Ty Stoss was running over to keep Adonis Forte at third. JT Mix is at first. There's no one on second base. While it wasn't a base hit over the head of Ty Stoss, it's a single up the middle for JT Mix that does score 2. It is now a 10-2 ball game, and
to preface this, that hit up the middle was on the second base side, so I do have that going for me. It just was not in the air. It ended up being a grounder on the right side of the infield. Scores 2. He hits a single. I'm pretty much 3 for 4 out of the things I said, but, you know, we just put 2 more runs on the board. We're up 10-2, and hopefully Declan can hit one out of the ballpark here to make it 13-2.
JT off on the first pitch. McKenna fakes the throw down to second. Does not get Adonis Forte to bite, an easy stolen base for Mix. So that's 4 for 4 for JT Mix today. He was hit by a pitch the last time up. He has now had a plate appearance in the last 4 innings, as has Declan Beers, who takes a fastball inside.
And another thing I'll say with this, too, if he would have hit the ball over the second baseman's head and it would have scored 2 runs, I would have walked off the broadcast. I would have just done my walk-off, and I would have probably taken about a week off until I came
I think
back.
you would have walked straight to a gas station nearby and bought yourself a lottery ticket.
Yeah, there's probably a good chance of that.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, you were darn near close. Declan Beers takes a pitch inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And in his first inning of work as a Pierre Trapper, Nathan June, well, he seems to be struggling a bit, as has Trapper pitching today. Changeup hits inside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Ryan Cross and Brent Bramlett in both their last appearances for the Trappers pitched a total of 5 innings, allowed a total of 7 runs off 6 hits for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. A half swing by Declan Beers goes foul. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I will say this, the Trappers this season have struggled immensely with walks allowed. They've been getting better, but we're in the 6th inning. The Trappers, to this point in the ballgame, have walked 12 batters. And for this early in the ballgame, that's near inexcusable.
There was a point early on this season as well, a Sunfish win, taking advantage of 12 walks here at Karras Park as Declan Beers swings through a breaking pitch for strikeout number 2 of the inning, but 3 will cross for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. It's 10-2. We'd like to thank General Manager of the Sioux Falls Sunfish, Nick Moen, for joining us. Nick, thank you for joining us. Have a good rest of the season doing General Manager things. I'm still a little bit upset that you want to trade me and even designate me for assignment, but I guess I'll keep my job if you'll have me.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously happy to be here now. Happy to have you both on air in the booth. I like this. I think it's great. You guys have both been awesome this year. We've obviously seen Pierre a lot, and I would say, maybe I wake up tomorrow. Maybe it's a new day, and maybe I think about keeping you around.
I appreciate it. It's Cordes, McKenna, and Cardoso due up for the Trappers when we return. I'm just realizing now, and I have apologized off the air, but I'm realizing now that was supposed to be Tyler's inning of work. My math somehow got off. You were getting the 4, 5, 6, so, well, I took your 6th inning. Here's the 7th inning for you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Maybe Nick wasn't wrong in designating you for assignment.
Drew Ballou. Hey, I'll make that call. Drew Ballou sinks one in there for a strike on the inside corner. That looked like his world-famous forkball.
Well, he only pitched 1 pitch against Andrew Kim in the previous inning. Kim in his debut 0 for 3 as Braden Cordes with a pair of flyouts is 0 for 2. Second pitch on the outside part of the strike zone, a delayed strike 2 call. Count will run to no balls, 2 strikes. Current line score 2 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors for the Trappers, compared to 10 runs on 6 hits and an error for the Sunfish. Has been a day in which the Sunfish have dominated. The 0-2 is ripped into left center field. Diving and making a play as Adonis Forte lays out in left center field. Thought that one was dropping for sure, but a great play in left by Forte for out number 1.
Adonis is not one who to shy away from putting his body on the line. Sometimes it works for him, sometimes it doesn't. Right there just shows why he's a speedy left fielder who can cover a lot of ground. And when he puts his body on the line, it's for a good cause. 1 out away for the Trappers off a nice grab by Donnie.
As it will bring up Thomas McKenna, the other member of Spokane Falls Community College. He is 1 for 2 today with a double. Lone extra base hit for the Trappers so far. First pitch is spoiled off the right-hand side. And that has to invoke flashbacks of 2 or 3 games ago here at Karras Park where there was a foul ball on the right side by a Trapper that broke the cap of a lighting fixture above the Sunfish dugout.
I think that was more than 2 or 3 games ago, but you are correct. That was off the bat of Bennett Osborne. The only reason I know that was a fork ball, I could tell it. It's the slower one, so the first pitch that I thought was a fork ball was actually a curveball right there. Drew's famous fork ball, but it was Bennett Osborne who fouled one and broke a lighting fixture here at Karras Park. So, yeah, that does give me not me as much as if Nick was in here.
Pitch will catch the outside part of the plate for strike number 2. Count will run to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Bases are empty. Thomas McKenna, the batter, against Drew Ballou.
And it almost seems, well, Adonis having a nice diving play over there. And I did notice his parents were here in attendance tonight, his father, Boris. It seems whenever he's in attendance that Adonis tends to perform a tad bit better. On Father's Day, he got a home run, Father's Day home run by Adonis Forte in front of his dad, and then his dad was in Fremont this past Monday where Adonis had 2 doubles. And I told him that day, I'm just like, hey, maybe you got to come into in-person games more often. He's like, no, I like watching it at home, then I can put it on replay.
Smart man as a foul ball goes back into the screen. McKenna stays alive against Ballou, 2-2 on the third batter that Ballou's facing.
And I mean I gave him a nice chuckle on that because it's well, you'd like to be in person to see him make some nice plays like that diving play he just had. It's when you're at home, you can go back, watch it on replay, and just watch it 4 times in a row and just like yes.
Now, best of both worlds, and I know it's not instant replay, still a replay. Everything's kept online. Go back after the game, maybe be a good luck charm for the Sunfish. Of course, after July 4th, which is the last time we play the Sunfish.
Yeah, you
pitch
never know.
Outside, full count.
You never know. You never know. And, of course, the Fortes from Nebraska. So making a drive up here was his dad, Adonis from Omaha. And so Omaha is about, half hour, 45 minutes from Fremont, so an easier drive there. But Mr. Forte has been up here quite a few times as well.
Payoff pitch swung on and missed by McKenna for out number 2. First strikeout for Drew Ballou and the 5th strikeout of the day overall for the Sunfish. As the lineup card flips over, bringing up Caden Cardoso. Was a pitcher in yesterday's contest against the Souris Valley SaberDogs. Pitched 3 innings of relief, only allowed 1 run. It was unearned. A typical batter back into his normal position in the leadoff spot. He's 1 for 3 today.
And now Cardoso, you've told me, is more a bit of a two-way player. As a forkball hits inside, it snowballs 1 strike. You said more of a two-way player, so it's not strange of him to be on the mound, but the Sunfish have seen a lot of position players the past couple days. JT Mix, Dylan Cricket Danielson on the mound yesterday, and the other night it was Gannon Thompson, Norris McClure, and Dane Frazier all making mound appearances for the Sioux Falls Sunfish in those games against the Sasquatch.
So it's a 1-1 count to Caden Cardoso against the not position player pitcher in Drew Ballou. Called strike on the inside part of the plate, 1-2. But we have seen a lot of that from almost every team in the Expedition League, taking players directly from the diamond in the outfield to become a pitcher.
And when you hit the high-scoring games like we've seen this season, as Bramante fans on one for strike number 3, we'll get to that in a moment. Tyler, I'll let you send them off.
Strikeout for Cardoso. We're through 7.5 or 6.5. It's time to stand up and stretch your legs. The 7th inning stretch from Karras Park. Big lead for the Sunfish, 10-2. When we come back, Kalehuawehi, McClure, and Frazier due up. Back for the bottom of the 7th, DH, Cade Kalehuawehi, who is 0 for 3 today. Then Norris McClure and Dane Frazier due up. Kalehuawehi, fielder's choice in the first, walked in the third, struck out looking in the fourth, and flew out to left in the fifth. First pitch swinging down the right field line in foul territory. Bramante chasing after it as that one will tip off the glove of Bramante. Making contact with each other is both Cardoso and Bramante, holding his arms up. He is Cardoso, as they'll tap gloves before heading back to their positions, and it turns out to be a long and confusing strike number 1 for Kalehuawehi.
I think I saw Bramante kind of smiling, joking around. I don't think there was any negative feelings. Obviously, teammates, you don't want that. I think it was all kind of just like, oh, they collided, but I think it was almost just comical at that point. Cardoso having a couple words with the Sunfish bullpen on his way back to right field.
0-1 on a called strike to Kalehuawehi. He falls behind in the count, 0-2. Now, Trappers fans that have been listening to the past few games have known that I've tried to keep them updated on the playoffs that are going on, whether that's the NBA, the College World Series. Ground ball up the first baseline is foul, but they're letting it go. They're going to tip it foul just in case that it rolled back onto the first base side. I think everybody was confused on why the play wasn't called dead until I think it was Nathan June who took his glove and swiped it farther past towards the Sunfish dugout on the first base side, excuse me.
Yeah, no, that I didn't think that had any chance of curving back in. I couldn't see the spin all too much from up here, but after a little bit, it was McKenna and June who kind of started chasing after it, and Kalehuawehi, when he saw that, started running down, and all three of them were just chasing with the ball, which again started kind of moving a little bit back towards the line before just kind of straightening out down the runner's lane. And yeah, like you said, it was June, I think, who just swiped it out of the way just to make sure that wasn't going to come fair and Kalehuawehi was safe.
Pitch will go low, evening the count at 2-2. But back on my previous point, I've been keeping up with the playoffs. And right now, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens underway in Montreal for the first time this series.
Yep, and the Tampa Bay Lightning lead 4-2. It was 4-1, but just a couple seconds ago, the Canadiens netted one. I can't tell you right off the bat right now who scored it, but there was a goal for the Canadiens recently. It's now 4-2 as the second period is coming to a close, just 30 seconds remaining. In that one, the Lightning lead the series 2-0 as Cade Kalehuawehi draws a walk.
So it will be another walk surrendered by Nathan June. It will be his 4th walk of the day, as it brings up Norris McClure, as the anti-beer batter strategy has not been working so far, as he's 0 for 3, striking out, reached on a fielder's choice, lined out to left, and walked. First pitch swinging for McClure for strike number 1. Standing at first is Kalehu Avehi, with nobody out, a 10-2 lead for the Sunfish here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And what we didn't get to in that at-bat is Norris McClure takes an absolute bender of a curveball across the plate for strike 2. Is that Cade Kalehu Avehi, his last time up, tried batting lefty his first time this season. About the last 3 or 4, this ground ball to the left side past the diving glove of Patrick Connor. Kalehu Avehi's going to stay at second. Norris McClure at first with the base hit. And now it's $1 off beer for the remainder of the inning here at Karras Park. And for you at home who are just watching the Sunfish game on the live stream on YouTube, get up off your couch, go to the fridge, and grab yourself a cold one. Enjoy it on us here from the Sioux Falls Sunfish. Back to you, Tyler.
Are you going to send everybody $1?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, hey.
Their beer from their fridge?
It's almost a free beer. Like, they bought it, but hey, now from their fridge, it's a free beer. They don't have to pay something and get it $1 off this time, so.
Pitch catches the strike zone for strike number 1.
You have to be quiet about my marketing schemes, Tyler.
So I have a question. Let's say that the beer batter in the top half of the inning strikes out. Then the anti-beer batter gets a hit. Is that $2 off for the remainder of the inning?
I'm going to turn this one to our assistant general manager, Zach Campbell, who's doing a great job working camera today.
You know what? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We will cross that bridge when we come to it.
In an ideal world, I want us to get the anti-beer batter to go through 3 times, their beer batter strike out, and then everyone gets free beer. Brilliant.
Look at that.
There we go.
Norris McClure just needs to bat 3 more times this inning. And, well, that'll be interesting. That wouldn't be fun for any Trappers fan watching this game.
Well, there's one in attendance at least, and he's in my chair because it's me. 0-2 with a 10-2 lead for the Sunfish. Dane Frazier, the current batter, runners at first and second. Still nobody out. A great chance to score for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. Line drive hit to left field. Kim is there to make the catch. Reaching up, both runners retreat on the fly out to left. Kim doing a decent job in left field, making his debut for the Trappers tonight.
And that was just absolutely smoked off the bat of Dane Frazier. He does not have a long ball this season, but he's been looking for one, and he hits it hard when he makes contact off the bat. He does have a triple this season for the Sunfish, and off the bat, that sounded and looked good to me, but again, like you said, Andrew Kim just building a wall out there in left.
A swing and a miss for strike number 1. Getting word that either one beer batter or the other has to hit, not both. So if the beer batter in the top of the first strikes out, it is null and void for the anti-beer batter. Ground ball over to Connor. Connor onto second base in time for the other one over at second. A 6-3 double play. Patrick Connor to Joey Bramante. Dutka grounds into an inning-ending double play. Out on the play as well as Norris McClure. So we'll have to leave it there. End of the 7th inning. A huge lead for the Sunfish. Trappers will try to battle back in the 8th with Connor, Mast, and Adams due up. Back for the top of the 8th inning. David, I thank you for the inning of makeup that I got to do play-by-play for the 7th, but the 8th inning is all for you.
In my defense, it was Nick Moen who wanted to come on in the 6th, and I said, no, Nick, that's Tyler's inning. We need to make sure he gets his play-by-play as he's come all the way here from Pierre. And Nick was adamant that he's like, no, I want to come on the air on the 6th inning, and I said, okay. Not a single word of what I just said was true. It was all my fault. I'm sorry, Tyler, but I appreciate it. You've done a great job coming here. I appreciate you joining me on the Sunfish live stream on YouTube as you welcomed me onto the Pierre Trappers live stream the other day. It's 10-2 Sunfish in the top of the 8th inning. The first pitch to Patrick Connor is skied down the right field line. Dylan Cricket Danielson had to do a little bit of a salsa before catching that one. You kind of saw that. Is that how you would describe it as well, kind of moving his feet?
Yeah, a bit of a salsa dance.
I think that's the best way to describe it, is he was kind of like turning over which shoulder he wanted to catch this, and he did a little bit of a salsa shuffle with his feet. Either way, one away here in the top of the 8th inning. The Sunfish lead by 8. It's Eric Mast who grounded out to short his last time up. He takes a pitch high and away from Drew Ballou. Ballou has been looking great on the mound so far today. 1 2/3 innings pitched. Hasn't allowed a hit and has struck out 2 since relieving Griffin Hassel. And in that inning, he got the first out on just 1 pitch. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Fastball right down the pipe for strike 1. Now the Sunfish and Trappers still play 2 more times this season, tomorrow and Sunday, this 4th of July weekend from the state capitol. And I know the Pierre general manager Kelsey may or may not be listening tonight as a breaking ball misses away. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. What are the 4th of July festivities going to be like in Pierre this weekend with the Trappers?
I'm not sure about specifics. I do know it's an earlier start time, 5:35, which will be the earliest start time between the Sunfish and the Trappers. There's been one other start time of that type from Hyde Stadium. The pitch will run inside to Mast to put him ahead in the count 3-1. But it's going to be a family weekend. I know a lot of players' parents coming into town. It should be a pretty packed house full of not only the residents of Pierre, but Trapper parents coming to watch their kids on 4th of July weekend.
Broken bat popped to second base, charging his mix, firing to Cricket Danielson in time. And the bat used by Eric Mast is nothing but firewood now as Anthony Atkinson pounds the handle on the ground just to confirm that that's broken, and that will be retired from use in Expedition League play. And you can toss that one if we have a bonfire at the field on Sunday. Here's a piece of wood right now.
Jared Shelton threatening to break it over his knee just to finish the job, because from the naked eye it looks intact, but you could definitely hear that there was a fracture in that bat off the swing by Mast.
He taps it on the ground again. You can hear it again. Drew Ballou's first pitch to Colin Adams runs inside, hits him, and also I think it ricocheted and hit home plate umpire Anthony Atkinson, who's now walking around. He's now walking out in the grass in front of home plate. He's asking for some water. Just crossed over the first baseline, is walking towards the Sunfish dugout. We're going to have a bit of a stoppage of play as a pitch that hits Colin Adams ricochets and pinballs over to Anthony Atkinson. And with 2 outs, Adams on first. It's still an 8-run ball game in favor of the Sunfish with Adams on first. Drew Ballou is now crouched on the mound talking to Carter Tibbetts. I think they're just asking what happened, as that's the first for me that I've ever seen that, especially this season. But I don't think I've ever seen that ever, where it's gone off of a batter and ricocheted towards an umpire.
No, that's the first time I've seen it this season, but it was... You could tell that the ball had ricocheted, and then all of a sudden you see Colin Adams wincing in pain, as well as the home plate umpire. And the only person that escaped without the baseball hitting them was the catcher in Carter Tibbetts.
Yeah, and that was, again, that's just interesting to me. But now with 2 outs, there's a runner on first. We have Ty Stoss, who's singled in his first at-bat and hasn't reached since, taking a fastball on the lower outside corner for strike 1. And with it being the top of the 8th inning. Might as well take a quick trip around the Expedition League. I know it's with 2 outs, but we'll try and make it work. From Casper, the Horseheads lead the Wheat City Whiskey Jacks in the top of the 5th inning, 7-1. Pitch from Ballou, inside, fastball, it's 1-1. The Fremont Moo and the Souris Valley Sabre Dogs still neck and neck. It's 7-5 Moo. They've just pulled ahead. It's the top of the 7th inning from Corbett Field. The Western Nebraska Pioneers and the Canyon County Spuds just underway. They're still scoreless. This time a fastball hits the knees. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the Mining City Tommyknockers in the bottom of the 3rd inning have a 5-run lead on the Badlands Big Sticks, who still remain scoreless. So it's 7-1 Horseheads over the Whiskey Jacks. It's scoreless between the Pioneers and the Spuds. The Sabre Dogs trail by 2 to the Moo, and the Tommyknockers lead the Big Sticks 5-0. A fly ball, left center field. That's dropping quickly. That's going to fall for a base hit. Rounding second is Adams. The throw to Frazier. He got him. Adonis Forte throws it to Dane Frazier as Colin Adams got a bit too aggressive on that one. The base hit from Stouse ends the inning on the tag on Colin Adams. No runs off 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base for the Trappers. The Sunfish lead 10-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The only way we can come back from this break is just to say what has quickly happened. I asked if this was Nathan June on the mound, and I didn't say, is this Nathan June? I said, is this still June? To which Assistant General Manager Zach Campbell replied, no, it's July. He was not trying to be funny. He thought I was asking what month it was. I started laughing. It was quite hilarious. You had to be there. Tyler, how was it?
You know, I think I was the one that actually called it out and asked, were you trying to make a joke? And then that's when the entire string became unraveled on what happened between innings.
You pulled at the thread. Zach played it off like he was taking full credit for making the joke. As a ball bounces in the dirt, blocked by McKenna, Carter Tibbetts is ahead 3-0 to kick off the bottom of the 8th inning. But I still thought that was pretty fun, like just without a beat, even if the fact that it wasn't even trying to be a joke, it still had the humor as a fastball hits the outside corner to Tibbetts. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. But I didn't even realize what because I said, is it June still? And he said, no, it's July. It is July 2nd. But Nathan June still on the mound as a foul off the end of the bat of Carter Tibbetts goes into the Sunfish dugout. It's now a full count as Tibbetts had been ahead 3-0. It's now 3-2.
So, David, you wanted to know what was going on this 4th of July weekend from Pierre for our 2-game set from Hyde Stadium. Well, I'm happy to say I got the information for you.
Let's hear it. After this, a swing and a miss gets Carter Tibbetts. He was ahead 3-0, and now he goes down on the strikeout. That's his 2nd time striking out today. It'll be Dylan Cricket Danielson, who struck out looking his last time up. He has walked twice, has 2 stolen bases, and scored once. We'll see what he can do in his 5th plate appearance.
Well, David, tomorrow night will be game show night from Hyde Stadium, and of course Sunday is American night with the 4th of July. Additionally, with that being a 5:35 start, should get out of there before the sun goes down, with the sun setting right around 9:45 to 10 o'clock, and Pierre is a swing and a miss for strike number 1. Then over the Missouri River that runs between Pierre and Fort Pierre, a fireworks show at dusk, so we should be able to get out to the river, depending on whether it's a normal distance game. Ground ball to third, fire onto first base, stole the call from you as Cordes fires onto first.
Hey, just returning the favor. I did that as well on one of your calls. That's why we're up here. We're both play-by-play guys. We do play-by-play things, and we got that one. Do you think so obviously we've been to Pierre a couple times, and the Missouri River isn't too far away from Hyde Stadium. Do you think you'd be able to see the fireworks from the stadium, or it might not be able to get over some trees as Adonis Forte takes a fastball low?
Well, from the press box at Hyde Stadium, you can see the mountains from Fort Pierre. And I think the fireworks would be able to get high enough. We might not have the angle since we're facing away from the main downtown block on that first base side.
Okay, fastball high and in. It's 2-0 now to Forte.
But there is a small sliver, and I'll have to show you tomorrow when you arrive to Hyde Stadium. But you can actually see the water of the Missouri River from the press box.
And Forte is drilled in the backside on what looked to be a changeup. 79 still doesn't feel good when you're getting hit, and with 2 outs, Adonis Forte wears 1. That is the 2nd hit batter for the Sunfish tonight, and we talked about things that the Sunfish lead the Expedition League in. Well, that's one of them. The Sunfish know how to get hit. I'm not sure if that's something to brag about or not, but this season the Sunfish lead the Expedition League with 56 hit batters. Adonis Forte being the 56th. A 66-mile-an-hour curveball misses low to JT Mix. What's your favorite part of 4th of July? Or are you not a big 4th of July guy?
No, I'm a huge 4th of July person. It's the all-American cookouts, the hot dogs, the hamburgers on the grill, going out to the park, the beach, really anywhere, the lake. It's just being there with family. It's a more American version of Thanksgiving. You're there with family or friends. You eat an entire meal, but instead of turkey, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie, it's brownies, hot dogs, and hamburgers.
Grounder up the middle, stabbed out of the air by Nathan June. Quick toss to Bramante for out number 3. No runs crossed there for the Sunfish. They still lead by 8. We'll see if they can hold on to this lead on the Trappers in Game 13 between Pierre and Sioux Falls. We'll return on the Sunfish live stream on YouTube for the top of the 9th after this. Drew Ballou won't close this one out, but his good buddy Zeph Hoffbauer will. Drew finishes up with 2 1/3 innings pitched, allowing just 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. The bottom of the 8th inning, marked the first inning today that the Sunfish did not record a hit. So they went 7 innings with a hit. The 8th inning they couldn't. They hopefully will not get a opportunity to get a hit in the bottom of the 9th as they lead by 8. It'll be Joey Bramante, Andrew Kim, and Braden Cordes looking to rally for the Trappers here in the top of the 9th inning. And Tyler, so we were talking about what was going to be happening this 4th of July weekend in Pierre between the Sunfish and the Trappers. And I mentioned on the air one of my first games in Pierre is the first pitch from Zeph Hoffpower, 87-mile-an-hour fastball hits on the outside corner for a strike. But I mentioned how much I liked the hot dog eating contest that the Trappers did between innings. 88 on the radar gun. Zeph Hoffpower can now brag to his buddy Drew Ballou that he hit 88, although it did hit for a ball. But I talked about on my broadcast how much I liked the hot dog eating contest, and I brought that up the last time I was in Pierre. And the Trappers GM, Kelsey, as Bramante skies this one down the right side, hooking foul. It's 1-2. She said that, well, it's the 4th of July weekend coming up. We're going to be there. And you think on the 4th of July she might let me come down from the broadcast for a half inning and do a hot dog eating contest as a broadcaster?
If you think the Sunfish listeners can bear, 89 can now brag to Ballou that he's now topped 88 miles per hour.
Let's see if he can hit the 9 on the 2-2. We'll take a moment away. 87 again, but it's fouled off. I think Zeph's going to top out at 89. If he hits 90, I'm going to lose it. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
But I might have to steal your listeners for about a half inning while you go down and compete, but I don't see why not. We'll just have to get the logistics confirmed.
Goes with the curveball on the 2-2, misses. It's now 3-2 from Hoffpower. Well, hopefully, and I don't think the listeners will be all too mad. I think my mom might be a little upset as Bramante flies one to right field. Beers on the run, makes the catch at the foul line, but it's in fair territory, points George Tyree, and it's out number 1 off the bat of Bramante. But I agree with you. The 4th of July we were talking about, it's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite. I love the United States. I love it. I have American pride. You will see my pride on Sunday with my USA getup that I wear every 4th of July, 87 right down the middle to Andrew Kim. You can see up here in the press box right now, I'm already getting started. Got a red shirt with a hand with the 2 fingers up as if saying peace, but the hand is red, white, and blue with some stars on the pointer finger. Tomorrow I got a USA themed shirt, and Sunday, I'm getting a text, and we might have a go at that hot dog eating contest again. Still crossing my fingers. But tomorrow I got a U.S. themed shirt as well, and Sunday I go full out with the 4th of July. My team, the Sunfish, doesn't even know it. As 87-mile-an-hour fastball hits just at the lower part of the zone, it's a 2-2 count. But I think you'll be excited to see. You'll see me coming from a mile. I'll step off the bus. You'll be like, "There's David." 87 fouled to the Trappers' dugout. A few Trappers ducking out of the way as that was sharply hit off the bat of the lefty Kim. But it's been a heck of a ball game for the Sunfish today. 10 runs off 8 hits. Fastball just runs wide on the outer part of the plate. It's another full count.
And for Hoffpower, a traditional position player, to come in here and throw 88 to 89 is really impressive. That he lights up 88 again on the strikeout swinging by Kim.
Yeah, Hoffpower, he's went a couple innings against Fremont in the opening series. Has come in a few innings of relief here and there. He came in the game against Souris Valley where 31 runs crossed between the two teams. It was 18-15 Sabre Dogs in the first half. 90! There it is! He's got a big smile on his face on the mound. Zeph Hoffpower, the position player, just hit 90 miles an hour on the fastball for a strike. I said I was going to go crazy. He follows it up with 89 outside. I heard cheering from the Sunfish dugout. He's going to get mobbed if he gets out of this one. The 1-1, 88 swung on and missed. And like you said, a position player topping out at 90 on the mound. I think there might be some sort of two-way in the future for Zeph.
Would make sense, a bit of Shohei Ohtani action.
91! Fastball called inside. The Sunfish come streaming out. They're all excited. They're going to come out and give Off Power some hugs on the mound. He strikes out Braden Cordes with 91 on the radar gun. He goes 3 up, 3 down in his only inning of work. Final pitch, 9:23, just under 3 hours here from Karras Park. The Sioux Falls Sunfish win 10-2 over the Trappers. The winning pitcher for the Sunfish, Griffin Hassel. He goes 5 2/3 innings, pitched 2 runs off 7 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He gets the win tonight. That's his first win of the season. It had been eluding him after some nice starts, but it was always relief who would come in and he would get just a bunch of no decisions. He finally has the win. It'll be Ryan Cross with the loss, going 4 innings of 5-hit, 5-run baseball, allowing 6 walks and striking out 3 in the process. 2 runs off 8 hits, 3 errors for the Pierre Trappers, while the Sunfish win their second in a row with 10 runs off 8 hits, only 1 error. They move to 2-0 in this second half of the season, while the Pierre Trappers lose back-to-back to kick off half number 2. They fall to 0-2. The Trappers and the Sunfish play 2 more times this weekend for games 14 and 15 on the season. The Sunfish take a 7-6 lead in the season series with tonight's win, and well, you'll be hearing more of me, and if you go and watch the live stream this weekend, it'll be Tyler Katz, the man to my left, who has graced me with his presence tonight for this dual broadcast, and who knows, maybe we'll do a special 4th of July edition of this from Pierre. We'll see. But Tyler, any last words you want to give to the Sunfish fans?
Yeah, thank you so much for bearing with me with tonight's broadcast. I don't blame you if you want to listen to David on the Mixlr stream for the Sunfish over the weekend, but if you want to come and watch the YouTube live stream, I'll be there for Saturday and Sunday as well as the rest of the Trappers season. But it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor being here in the broadcast booth with you, and both our game in Pierre and this one in Sioux Falls. I've had a blast being on the dual cast with you, David. It was a unique idea that I think we executed well, and it's been a really unique opportunity, and I'm glad that we've now done it not once but twice.
I am as well, and this is the last time the Trappers will make the trip down to Sioux Falls. The last time these 2 teams do battle will be Sunday on the 4th of July. There's a game tomorrow as well. The Sunfish travel to Pierre for the last time this weekend in a 2-game series against the Trappers. Tomorrow night's game, the regular 7:05 first pitch from Hyde Stadium on the Sunfish Radio Network and the Trappers live stream on YouTube. And on Sunday, it's a special 5:35 start time on Independence Day from the state's capital of Pierre, South Dakota, between the Trappers and the Sunfish for game 15 of 15 between the 2 teams. Once again, the Sunfish beat the Trappers 10-2, 2 runs off 8 hits, 3 errors for the Trappers, 10 runs off 8 hits, 1 error for the Sioux Falls Sunfish. For Tyler Katz of the Pierre Trappers and the rest of the Sioux Falls Sunfish organization, I'm David Coyer. Everyone have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, and go fish.